All right. Only 2 minutes late as I was scrounging just to get a small little plate of food next to me. Oh, Betsy. All right, good. I got everything turned off. I got agua. Oh, let me get some tunes up in this B before we get into the madness, man. Am I good on mute? We are. Solid. All right, cool. I think we should have all chat on too. Let me just double check. I do have a live chat, so it should be showing me everything. Sweet. All right. Yeah, man, today's gonna be fun. We finally finished grabbing all of the A and B teams. So we finalized that. There was some movement. There was some dipping out of some kingdoms and some groups, and they went elsewhere. It was just a number of things we're going to talk about today, man. And we're going to do we might do some matchup predictions, maybe some community voting too as well. We will see how wild we get. But yeah, man, this is going to be a jam-packed one, especially because we actually have all the teams announced. So I'm pretty excited about this one. Let me skadoosh this over though, if I can. All right, there we go. Awesome. Gilgamesh, what's up, man? Yo, my man's coming in first already. We see you. Sweetness. All right, man. Let me you guys know, man. Let me go through my promos and stuff real quick. Just because I had to go drop off. Some of you guys know I had my family visiting. My dad and my brother were visiting from California, so I had to go drop them off at the airport. And let me tell you something, man, having to go through Atlanta traffic at pretty much prime time is no bueno. I think anyone that has had to go through any level of traffic, if you've ever gone through like major city traffic, it's not fun. I'll just say that publicly. Yeah, it's absolutely a sucky feeling. Whew. Oh, Betsy. But yeah, no, this should be a fun one, man. Especially just because of all the stuff that's being said and has been talked about, especially in COD Gen Chat, and the memes have just been... Yeah, we might even look at some memes too as well. Because the COD meme channel, for anyone who hasn't looked at it over the past 24 hours, I'm going to say, man, some of these memes have been popping. They are downright hilarious. So yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed show tonight. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, a little bit later on the stream for me. Usually, I know I said yesterday probably like around 6 to 6:30 Eastern. Again, only reason we're starting a little bit late tonight is because, as I said, I was having to go drop off the fam at the airport, and that traffic was just, man, horrendous to get through. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow we'll be starting about at least an hour to an hour and a half earlier, is the plan. Yeah. Like, yo, lock in, man. Lock in. It's going. Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. Again, man, it's gonna be going. Yeah. So we'll here in a moment, once I finish getting all these promos out, we will be we're gonna start and we'll do all of the team announcements, right? So we'll show you all the AB teams, everything that's finalized up until this point, because I did check this earlier in the day, and everything at that point was, again, maybe there could be one or two swaps here and there. There's always the possibility, but I think for the most part, we're pretty set on everything. So yeah, man, it should be pretty good. Like I'm super stoked for what we're going to be showing off today. Yes, Janif, what's up, man? Welcome. I will be also... That will be something we'll do maybe like after we do the team announcements. We'll talk about any potential Diplo wins. Maybe if we'll do some matchmake, possibly we're either going to as a third topic match, because again we'll show off some memes too, and then we'll either talk about potential matchups and get some community votes coming in, or I'll go in and start updating the C and D teams, and then maybe we can do the potential team up. Maybe we'll save that for tomorrow's live stream because we'll be able to go a little bit earlier. Because what I want to do with that is I want to go through all the teams and I want to get the players. I want to get the community, you guys, to vote on, like an example would be, oh God, what is it? An example would be something like if we looked at the top team, right, for this one with Rage Sura WBS S2AK, for example, I might ask something like, okay, well, who out of these teams, right, do you think should go up against them, right? And then bam, we'll pair that. So we'll pair that group. That'll be a community voted group. And then we'll say, okay, well, who's the next best group? And then we'll say, okay, out of these 3 or 4 other teams, who do you guys think should face against them? So stuff like that. And then I want to kind of be able to have like a running poll going on as well that I can refer back to for referencing when we talk about matchups and say, well, yo, the community voted that, man, this would have been the first best matchup, or this would have been the number 2 KvK or the number 3 KvK we want to see. Because if we can put that out before the Brink of War comes up, because we know once Brink of War hits, that's when we'll find out, right? What the KvK groups are and, you know, whose team got matched up with who. So I would absolutely love to do something like that where we get that out a little bit earlier. So yeah, man, lots of ideas, man, lots of ideas. But there's a couple things that I definitely want to try and get to, especially because we got plenty of time. Yeah, Freddie, what's up, man? Let us all hope for good matchmaking. I mean, that's the truth. It makes me wonder about the whole matchmaking thing, because like you enter the matchmaking phase and they used to have, for those of you that remember, they used to have the results phase, right? So you would go in and let me see. I don't know if I can show this off. Let me see if I can show this off real quick, because they used to have this set up. Yeah. So, you know, you'd go in, right? And you'd be able to see the results phase. So if I went into like War of the Last, right, which is where we're at now, but obviously in this kingdom I'm not. Oh, hang on, maybe I have to go into my other one, right? Yeah, okay, here I'll show you guys this one. Let's do that. That was a slight fail there. Let me come back, because it would probably help if I showed off one that's actually in, or that has registered. So here, so this is only half screen just because I have it limited on my view, but this is a kingdom that has registered for War of the Last Snows. So if I go in here, you can see that, right, we're on the matchmaking phase now. Matchmaking is going to start here, which means all the teams are going to get locked in. So what we'll probably do as well is do a quick run through of all the teams that have been locked in, and just to make sure that absolutely nothing has changed. And then we can go through all the team announcements and then get to a couple of things that we do want to talk about as well. But what I was trying to say is that once upon a time, right, a number of seasons ago, it was matchmaking, and then it was results, and then it was season begins, right? This was before they had Brink of War. But obviously they've, you know, taken that out to also shorten some of the timeline and just basically announce the results once Brink of War starts. But the challenge is that you still have to go in. You'll still have to go into the kingdoms to see those. Which, yeah, I mean, does like lightly kind of suck. And as always, yo, man, if you guys are hanging out with us and you enjoy the stream, you enjoy the content, make sure you help us out a little bit more by throwing us up, because it helps out a lot. As you guys know, man, we were killing it with those likes. Man, our first goal is going to get to 20. Is going to be our first attempt. 20 likes, that's what we want to see. Yeah, because, man, when I checked the stuff yesterday, we were at, I don't even know where we ended, man. It was above 270 or 275 or something. It was wild. But, yeah, apparently, you know, those things help push our face out to more faces, which why not, you know? So yeah, anyways, let me bring this back, and then we'll we'll just go back to showing. And there's a little bit more updates I have to do on the sheet as well. So I'll just go back to showing this off. So you guys can hang out here. And while I finish up on the Discord. Miko, what's up? Good late night. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, I mean, this is my normal time, right? For when I'm usually streaming. I know Guns and I think Princess typically will go a little bit earlier. I know Guns is sometimes early morning, and Princess sometimes can be a little before me or around the same time. But I'm kind of usually late night, in a lot of cases, unless there's something like really going on. Like as an example, when we did the massive stream yesterday, which was, man, so incredibly fun. But that was a little different because of the 12-hour classification delay, where we weren't going to be able to see the Kingdom seeds until 12 UTC/8 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, Miko is 2:43 a.m. here. Well, damn, man. Listen, I appreciate it, but you know, if you need to get some sleep, get some sleep. Absolutely. All right, Discord stuff is good. Let's head. Cool. Let's head in game now. So, yeah, let's see if we can. Yeah, let's see if we could pop this out again. I just gotta remember, where did I leave off? Was it 341? I think so. Yeah, because I want to cycle through some of these. Yeah. Trying to. Oh, let's see what else we got. Dream, what's up, man? Welcome. How's the best? Zyra, what up, man? Good morning, CoD Fam. MFD's the best. Welcome, welcome. Wrecking Ball, what up, man? Oh, kids. Leica, what's up? Stay calm and aggressive. Let's go, let's go. That's right. Kidding. Oh, sorry. Kidding says we see matchups at reset. So, no, you won't. Which is, again, slightly misleading to some. I absolutely get that. The way that it works is that you have your team up phase, and then once the team up phase is to basically pick your teams, and then once matchmaking starts, it locks in. So you're going to lock in here in 15 minutes is when all of the teams are locked in. So if there's any movement that is going to happen or anything that would happen, it can happen for the next 15 minutes. Right now, I don't think that's necessarily likely, but it basically means that you can do any team movement that you need to up until reset here in about 15 minutes. Now, once reset hits, all the teams are going to get locked in. So there's going to be absolutely no movement that will be able to happen once reset hits. And then basically from matchmaking up until Brink of War is the amount of time the system has to determine which teams will get matched up with which teams, right? So that's what again, 15 minutes, like I said, we'll double check because we do want to be absolutely certain, just for due diligence purposes, that all of the teams, and we'll go through them as well real quick once I finish just getting some in-game promos out, just to make sure none of the teams have changed, and we'll confirm that as well as we go down through. So I'll show you each team starting from top down, because there's been 4 or 5 other teams that have now been confirmed, and there was one kingdom that swapped within the past couple, I think within the last number of hours, or at least I should say today, where they swapped their group, and I took a note of it. So we'll also call attention to that too as well, in case anyone's curious on maybe who that was. So yeah, and see, that's the cool thing about writing down the team names early on, because if you see any changes that are made, then we're able to call attention to that. So I always find that super interesting. Yeah, where am I at? 9. Okay, we're going to 5 next. Sweet. Yeah, Gilgamesh says, so who dipped? Okay, yeah. I'll say that too as well. Like I said, I have that noted. So we'll call attention to that when we get to them. But I should re-wrap it up here in a few minutes. And then if not less than that. And then we'll go and start going through all of the teams. We'll confirm and we'll do each of the announcements going top down. So that way we can start kind of getting into some of the meat here. Ogazon, what's up? Welcome. Is the Kingdoms without teams also teamed up at reset? So anyone that doesn't have a team yet could be. However, we may not see which kingdoms that, like, for example, any of the, like, the ABs are all good. I can tell you that right now, because there's 21 groups and you have 21 groups of, or 21 teams of 4 kingdoms, right? So that equals 84. There's 42 A kingdoms and 42 B kingdoms. So that number equals out perfectly. And that equals the 21 teams. However, one of the teams is going to be the odd team out, right? Because then you have to look at 21 and you have to say, okay, well, there's 2 teams per KvK in the ABs, or in all the KvKs. So that means you're going to have 10 KvK groups of ABs, which means you're going to have one team of 4 kingdoms, 2 A's and 2 B's, that's going to be left over. So again, will they skip? Will they just get put into maybe one of the lower KvKs, or maybe they'll just get added and dispersed? So it'll be 2, right? So instead of having 8 kingdoms, you'll have 12 kingdoms, and it'll be a 6v6 instead of a 4v4. I mean, that could happen. I think it would suck if the odd team out, was forced to skip. I mean, as long as the numbers are even, I don't see necessarily a problem with that. What they could have done as well, which to me, I don't know why this didn't happen. It just feels like such an easy catch. Why don't you just make why don't you just allow for one team to be 6 kingdoms and the other team 6 kingdoms, where it's 3A, 3B, and then 3A and 3B. And then whoever wants to be a part of that KvK can opt in or not. So, like, as an example, when you're creating a team, you can choose to do a team of 4 or a team of 6. But then the first team to fill up, like the first 2 teams to fill up 6 kingdoms, no more can do it after that. So there can only ever be 2 teams of 6 at any given time, right? And then that would just be that would solve your odd numbers at that point, or odd number teams, we should say. So like that could have been one solution. The other one could have just been them saying and coming out and saying, well, listen, if we have an odd team, which clearly you are, what they could have also done is well, I guess the easier way, honestly, probably would have been to just add 8 more AB kingdoms. So instead of having, 4 more AB kingdoms, right? So 2 more A's, 2 more B's, and instead of having 84, they would have had 88, right? And then at that point, now you would have solved your problem, because you would have had a 22 teams of A's and B's mixed. So yeah, again, a couple options there that they could have done, and I don't know why they didn't, because that would have solved having 21 A-B teams, and now you have an odd team out. Yeah, it just kind of sucks. Zen, what's up? Welcome. Can you see the RAC team versus BXS team? Yeah. Like I said, we will definitely be taking a look at that as well. I want to run through all the teams first, because they've all now at the moment have officially filled out with 4 kingdoms on each. So I definitely just want to show that off initially, and we're going to go through and verify it as well, because reset is going to happen here in about 9 minutes. And when that happens, all of the teams are going to be hard locked in. So no one's going to be able to go anywhere at that point. Yeah. Nice. But welcome. If you're just joining us, we're just wrapping up some in-game promos, and then we're going to go through and showcase all of the teams that have been announced. We're 9 likes away from 20. We can get there. And as always, if you guys are enjoying, make sure you help us out and throw us out, because it helps out a lot. Thanks. Silver, what's up, man? They'll add the extra 4 servers to the other camps, like in other KvKs. Yeah. And I mean, I think that's likely, because that's what we've seen happen in some seasons, where they've just pushed them to them. I mean, there has been a case where some have skipped, right? Some were forced to skip, but there have been some where they've dispersed the kingdoms into existing KvKs. Yeah, absolutely. Did I double that up? Oh, I didn't. Cool. Yeah, and I actually have another idea for something I want to do with everyone, because people have been asking me. People have been like, the thing that's been going around. Oh, cool. Okay, we stopped here. 314. So let me. I'm gonna mark this. Maybe I'll do gray. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so gray is where I stop. Let me set a timer real quick, and then all right, we will get to the teams now. Sweet. All right. Awesome. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So we're all good now. Now, so we're going to go through each of the teams. So we're going to do the team announcements. And again, some of you that were here yesterday, you saw some of these. So some of the ones at the top will be familiar. However, the one thing that we're going to be doing now is confirming that none of the teams have changed to absolutely make sure. And then we're going to show you some of the new teams, which are going to be a little bit lower too as well, that I believe were just finalized today. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. So let's start with the first group. Let's just double check and make sure nothing's changed there, which again, I don't think anything is going to massively change with some of the top groups. But again, for due diligence purposes, we got 7 minutes until reset hits going into, or we should say going into the matchmaking phase, ending the team up phase. Alyssa, what's up? Always nice to have some ladies in the chat. Do you think server 435 or 444 is better? 435, 444. I don't know. Let me see. What do I have here? Let me skadoosh that over because I'm going to have to update that one in a sec too. I don't know if I've done them yet. Let's see. Let's take a look here. 435. Oh, I have. So where's 444? Are they close? Are they nearby? No, they're not. So this is Kingdom data from 435 as of 2 days ago. And they're what? 12.3. And then you said 444. Oh, wow. I haven't done 444 yet. But we can plug them in real quick. Should only take a second. Let me just make sure I'm good here. So that's SCL, right? 444. And then 60. Boom. Yeah, I got to go, and I'm going to go in and add the rest too as well. So I guess it determines on what you would define as better. Well, what, 17, 18, 14? I mean, they got what, 20, was it 18, 22, 100 mil pluses, 11.1. I mean, again, we're just kind of looking at some simple stuff. We're not really doing kind of any advanced stat lookups. And then what's 435? 12.3. And they have, well, it's about the same. When you're looking at 100 mil plus, 435 is 2 more. But obviously, there's a little bit more of a power differential there. So, yeah. Okay. So, first team. Let's take a gander. So, this is going to be, again, so we have Rage WBS, Sura, S2AK. Okay, awesome. Nothing's changed. That is confirmed. Fantastic. And again, we got 4 minutes until reset ends. Let's double check the second group, which I can open up Kingdom 22 on this one and maybe take a quick snag bite. Okay. Second group. We're in Kingdom 22 right now. So it's VP 22, 40, 92, 161. That's confirmed. No changes. Lovely. Let's go into Kingdom 30 now. And we're going to double check this group. It's nice to have the scout over here on the side just to be able to check on some of these. Nice. Yo, 3 likes away from 20. We're almost there, fam. All right, so let's see this. So on this one, we got 30, 259, 305, 314. Awesome. This group is confirmed. We got 3 more minutes here until the team up phase finishes. And then let's look at 57. Yeah, we'll do to confirm this one. Mastrick, what's up? Welcome. Looks like 2.5 minutes here until team up phase finishes. So on the fourth group, we got 57, 191, 297, 320. Okay, this group is confirmed. No changes there. Let's take a look at the Echo team next. It's going to be Kingdom 60 that we'll look at. Okay, for 60, we got 60, 73, 77, 45. Okay, no changes here. This group is confirmed. Fantastic. We're going to work our way to 11. And once we get, I think, to like the 60, mid-60 range, that's going to be some of the new groups, the new teams that have been confirmed. So we're going to run through the teams first. And then we'll start talking about some of the potential matchups. Either that or I have another idea for something we might be able to do, so we'll see. So here on this group, this is 1199, 156, 222. No changes here. That's confirmed, right? We got about a minute now until the team up phase finishes. So let's go into 80. Yeah, so we can check this team out. Oh my gosh, 23 likes. Yeah, you guys are killing it. Love it, love it, appreciate it. 30 will be our next goal. Because we're just all on that like fam. Okay, next group or current group. So we got 80, 176, 183, 302. Okay, fantastic. This group is confirmed. No changes here. Next, we're going to look at GG, which, again, got to give a shout-out to the old school gang. You guys know. I mean, if you know, you know. Right? Sucks they changed their name. I still have a gripe with them about that. Okay. Let's take a look at this team. Okay. Now, I'll show you guys this. It's pretty cool. So, matchmaking has started. And it says on here now, season team rosters locked. Matchmaking is underway. So, officially, everyone's locked in. Nothing can be changed at the moment. All right. So, this team, 68, 110, 220, 279, confirmed. That has not changed. All right. So we're going to look at Kingdom 5 next. This was Noir, Luno, and now they're OMG, which I guess, yo, Jag, what up, baby? That's right, man. The OGs know about the gang. That's for the old school 68 fam there. All right, the people that knew, that knew what was up. Okay. For this group, we got Kingdom 5, 64, 118, 266. This is confirmed, locked in, has unchanged. All right. The next team we're going to confirm here is going to be the 225 team. And we'll make sure nothing has changed there. Let's see. I mean, damn, if I could type decently well. All right. On this team, let's see what we got. So this is, so we got 225, 228, 310, 345. This team's confirmed. Matchups unchanged. Okay. Next one's going to be here with the Pirates, right? Previously POTC. I guess they're POTU now, or maybe it was just a shell that they worked their way into. Yeah. I think I have a note here. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So this is the one. Oh, man. Okay, yeah. Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys in a sec because that one is coming up here. So I'm gonna show you guys this one. Oh, you said 389 renamed to WoW. Okay. Hang on, let me change. Thank you for the update. So 389. Hang on, let me go over here. 389. You said WoW. Thank you, Miko. And you said underscore, right? Hang on. Shiitake mushrooms. Where am I going? I just want to update it everywhere because I don't want to forget. Okay, cool. Solid, solid. All right, let's confirm this matchup. So we got 31, 45, 62, 290. Okay, this team, or sorry, not matchup, team. This team is confirmed. Nothing changed there. All right, let's go to 221. Yeah, and then when we get to the next group, I'm going to show you guys the kingdom that swapped and left one of the teams in the dust and then went to go join somewhere else. Man to me. Yeah. Also, if you're just joining us, welcome. We are going through and showing off all the teams right now. And we're also confirming that the teams are locked in and have not changed because matchmaking just started. And so that way we're also confirming while we're showing you guys off all the teams. And then we have something super fun in store for you once we do finish. But as always, if you guys enjoy the stream, make sure you help us out. Throw us up. Because it really does help get this out to that. All right. So for this team, this is 221, 255, 283, and 389. Confirmed from what I'm looking at right now. This team is unchanged. Okay. Now let's get to what potentially is a little bit of a spicy team here because of something that happened. But let me load up 43 real quick and take a quick bite of... Oh my god, it's tasty. Woo! Okay, okay. For this team, let's just confirm that nothing's changed here first. We have 43, 164, 170, 170, and 276. So this team's confirmed. However, what happened with this team? Why do I have an asterisk here? I'm going to tell you. There was a position swap here. So BOM had left this team. They were originally a part of this team. This was a team of 4. They left to go and join Kingdom 5. And I can't remember who Kingdom 5 dropped or if someone did drop at all. But BOM left that team to go and join this team, which made them obviously a little bit stronger, right? So they went to go join Kingdom 5, 118, and 266. That was Kingdom 64. Just a little bit of a note there. That happened kind of on day 2, or you could say like the last, I think, 12, 14 hours or so. Okay. So this team's confirmed. Now we have... some of these teams are going to be the new ones, right, that we didn't see yesterday. Aside from NTS, because on the stream yesterday, we were able to showcase NTS because they formed near the end of the stream. But some of these ones below were not fully formed with a team of 4 kingdoms. So these are going to be some of the new ones we'll be showing off. But let's go ahead and load up Kingdom 49 just so we can confirm the matchup or the team and that nothing has changed there yet. Yeah. Cranmore, what's up, man? Yeah, 110. Okay. So here for 49, let's see. We got 49, 115, 219, 395. Team is confirmed. No changes. Awesome. Let's go to 27 now just to confirm that one, which is, again, looks like Laws, AXC, SOS, and 33. Okay, awesome. So for this team, let's see here. We got 27, 67, 88, 247. Okay, all confirmed. No changes there. Awesome. All right, let's go to 75. We're going to confirm that team as well. And then if you're just joining us, I'll go through and show all the teams off again as well. And then we'll show you off some of the group predictions that we did start doing. And I'm probably going to end up doing, we'll see if we go down that road. or maybe we talk about the potential Diplo wins, and we look at all the teams that formed and how strong of A's and B's did they pick up for their teams, which could be pretty illuminating. I may let you guys I may let us do a poll on that to see what direction we go in. So this one we got 75, 339, 341, and 349. That's confirmed. No changes there. Okay, next team we got 81. We're going to take a look at now. Let's see here. Okay. For this one, we have 81, 119, 211, 243. Okay, this matchup is confirmed. Or this team is confirmed, so no changes. And we're almost done. I think these are going to be the last four here. But these should be some of the newer ones too. So Kingdom 3, we'll check. That's RK's. And what do we got? RK, Block, DK, and TC. All right, let's see here. Block, DK. Okay, awesome. This group, this team is confirmed. So no changes there. They are all set and locked in. Let's go to 17. Yeah, so these will be the last three. And then we can potentially do the other ones. Yeah. Let's see here. So we got 17, 113, 193, and 229. Okay, awesome. That's confirmed. No changes. Let's go to 47. Phoenix, what's up? Welcome. I'm going to go to Kingdom 47 real quick. And then let me skadoosh this over here. Let's see. Where did I have my... Oh, let's do this for Kingdoms, just so I can use an example here. Kingdom ally. All right, let's do this. Oh, how did I have that set up? Oh, it's rank. All right. We will finish jamming that one out here in a moment. So for 47, let's see here. On this one, we got 47, 226, 286, and 375. Okay, that's confirmed. No changes, which means that we should be set for this last group that has 145 at the top. But again, we'll just apply some due diligence here just to confirm this last AB group, which should only take a moment. All right, this should be 145, 153, 284. Okay, fantastic. So all AB teams have been confirmed, which is, I'll be honest, very lovely to see. All right, let me see what we got here. Gilgamesh says AVIC stats is wrong. Okay, let me take a look. You said 49 over 100, and it's showing, what is it showing? Oh, this one here, 226, and it's showing 44. Okay, let me check, because I have some of the other stats. Kingdom, let me just switch this #1 ally here, top alliance. Let me skadoosh this one over. I think that was the only one I needed to do, right? And then we have power. Yeah, power merits, and then I have to put a column in here, right, for emerald. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's gonna work. It's gonna work away. It's itself out that way, anyways. Cool. All right, yeah. Give me a sec. We are gonna do some adjustios here, and then we can probably update this as well. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we should be good here. Let's take a look. Allies, that 600. Let me just make sure I get everything else here. Good. Okay, cool. That's number. Format this. Sweetness. All right, let me see if I can add in the new numbers now, or I shouldn't say new numbers, but the updated ones, because there might have been, because I know we had another one too as well. So let me check on this, and we can see, because I know Fuzzy got me an updated scan that he said was a little bit more accurate yesterday. At least just correcting. I think there was only one discrepancy that was noticed yesterday, so that was nice to see. But I appreciate letting me know. So let's take a look here. And oh boy, one moment. I need to organize these in kingdom rank, so it'll be a little bit easier for me. And then we'll update that column, or that row, excuse me. And yeah, we're going to format this for B. Okay, cool. And what am I looking at? 226? So 226 should be... Ooh, hang on. One moment. I need to make a copy of this. Just because I have to move around a couple columns here, I think. Yeah. Is that it? E2, yes, probably D2, and then let's give you a percentage number. Fantastic. All right, and then hopefully that fixes it. 12, yeah. All right, awesome. Okay, we're good, we're good. Let me just delete that, and then I need to make another copy. Cool. Oh, yeah, I was just updating my 7.7. Oh no, rough life. I thought it finished everything there. Dang it. Let's do one more thing here. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. Now we're good. All right, let's see. Let's do a quick duplicate. And then we're going to edit out this one. So we'll take a look there. Awesome. So we need team power, maritime over P, kills its heals. Oh, I guess I didn't need to do all that. I think it actually is okay there. Okay, let's go to 226 and see. Okay. And you said it was more than 44. Let me see. So I have 43. Okay. Well, this one was from yesterday, and this actually is a little bit different. So it's showing 47. Okay. That actually still seems a little bit more accurate to me. If it's increasing a couple off of that, so it probably just didn't account. All right. Let me just make sure. 16, 19. Yep. Okay. Awesome. And let me make sure here. 16, 19. Yep. All right. Awesome. So that has been updated. Lovely. Cool. No, I appreciate you letting me know. All right. Yeah. So these are all the teams that we got right now that are all official. So we got 3 directions we can go now. Also, one more like until we're at 30. You guys can do it. I believe in you. Surprised. Phoenix is surprised we got C. Thought they had more migrations points than us for 435. Okay, I see. Oh, we are. Gotcha. I was like, we are. Hey, are you saying like we are? But no, you're saying the Alliance. All right. Yeah. Okay, so let's guess who's going to force to skip a season, lol. Okay, so it says it's crazy they come up with 21 teams. No, absolutely. It just, yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like, why not do 22? It's like, well, I mean, you have to know how many kingdoms you're putting in and that someone's possibly going to be the odd man out. You know, why are you putting people through that? I mean, it just seems unnecessary, right, at that point. Masaj says it's 49 because I am 100 mil power and ranked 49. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to make a note then. You said that would have still been as of yesterday. Let me make a note here. What was that? 2? Oopsies. Hang on a sec here. Yeah, just so I can pass that along. So we got 226. Missing 200 players. Okay, cool. I have a note. I will pass that along. Thank you. All right, awesome. I will be sure to get that to Fuzzy by the end of the stream. Yeah, so any feedback, as always, is always please, more than welcome. All right, so we got that updated. So, okay, we got 3 directions we can go now. Let me see if I can run. I'm going to see if I can set up a poll real quick. Let me see, start a poll. Okay, awesome. Okay. What? Okay, here we go. I can edit these poll numbers too. That's so cool. Or the poll questions. So let's say compiling C D kingdoms. We could do what was it? Finish compiling CD kingdoms. We can run community votes on matchups. And then what was my third one was assign kingdom ranks to see who Diplo winned. Okay. I'm hoping that, yeah, assign kingdom ranks to see who Diplo win. All right. Okay. I just started the poll. I haven't done one of these polls before, so I didn't realize I could like custom. So you guys can vote on what we do next. We got 3 options right now that you guys can vote on. So if you're just joining us, first and foremost, welcome. As always, if you enjoy the stream, you enjoy the content, make sure you help us out by throwing us up, because more likes helps us get this out to that. Secondly, we got a vote going on right now. Please cast your vote. We got 3 options on the direction that we can go next with the stream. Because I'm okay going in any direction, right? And I'm totally fine with picking one. But given that there are some interesting ones that might be a little bit more spicy than others, let's see what you guys want to do next. And then we may update the title depending on what is chosen. So we'll let that run for a minute or two. Oh my God, can I see? Okay, wow. Geez, you guys, overwhelming right now. All right, so as the votes are coming in, 71% of you want to see, want me to go through and assign kingdom ranks to see who might have a Diplo win. Okay. Interesting. Aaron, what's up, man? Revealing results. Maybe we're all here to gang up and Diplo shame someone. Yeah. I'm gonna give it another minute. And again, whatever doesn't win, we can always do that next. But this is something I did say yesterday on stream that I did want to do. I wanted to go through all the kingdoms and basically see like what are the overall ranks and then what are the A and B seed ranks that they chose as teammates. The reason why I wanted to do this at some point was because you can get a clear idea on the strength of a kingdom that other kingdoms went after, right? That they wanted to team up with first. And I think that can be really revealing and very telling to a degree on, if, for example, like let's say Ash or someone, right, who's a Paragon B, like, what if they went after the strongest A? What if they went after the top 2 strongest A's, right? And like the number 2B, right? So they went after number 1, number 2A, number 1B. Like that to me would be very telling. All right, a couple minutes in, and it still feels like it's pretty clear on the winner here. Okay. All right, that's what we'll do next. So we're gonna go through. I appreciate everyone who voted. Thank you so much. We'll do another vote here in a bit. So let's go through and maybe potentially shame some people. Let's see. let's see how this plays out. So let me. Yeah, we'll end this and then we'll start. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, this should be interesting. Okay, we just ended the poll. So yeah, that should be fun. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. In order to do this, we need to figure out first and foremost. I need to make a new. I'm gonna leave the teams up, so I'm gonna do a duplicate one for the team, but we're gonna edit some of the columns here, and then I'm gonna explain how we're gonna basically do the assignments. So let's see. Let's just who Diplo won. Tap. I'll tell you, it's already getting a little spicy here. This should be fun. Okay. Because of this, I need to remove something, right? Because we need at least 2 columns here to represent the kingdom ranks that we've already pulled the data for. So we have that on this kingdom's edit tab and on the kingdom's master tab. So basically, I just need to figure out, like, what do I just not care about seeing at the moment, which is maybe heals and dead, right? Like that might not be the biggest thing. So okay, let's say let's do how are we gonna do this? Because I have to do 2 sets. So let's do O rank, which is going to be overall rank, and then we're going to do seed rank. Yeah, right? Yeah, we'll do seed rank, something like that. I wonder if I can just probably fit the whole word in here. Oh, I can. Cool. Okay. So we're going to split this up into overall rank and seed rank. And let me explain how this is going to work. So these are all the kingdoms right now that are ranked as of the data from the 6th. And I believe we already updated the one on 13. Yeah, 4.7. So we're good there. And again, some of these might be off, 100,000, maybe a mil, probably not a mil, but it's usually low numbers, right? If there is any margin. Keep in mind, this was pulled 2 days ago. But how this is going to work is we are going to look at, we'll do the overall rank first. And so what we're going to figure out is on this tab, who, right? So we'll do, I can subtract this too as well, right? So we'll do this for each. These columns will be relevant, right? So let me show you an example of how we'll do the first one. But let me get to some questions here just in case. Let's see here. I would love, we're feeling, Jack says, I would love if they made, oh, look at that, dude. It posted the, it even posted the, that's so funny, dude. It posted, oh, hang on. Let me update the title real quick. Okay, hang on. Okay, we're going to do assigning. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, assigning kingdom ranks. And let's do this. Assigning kingdom ranks. Here we go. Okay, we're good. Okay, we got it. It's updated now. We updated the title. There we go. Diplo 1. All right, okay, before we go, let me see if I can yeah, okay, yeah. Cuz we're going to do this. Let me see though if I can let me see if I can go through this though real quick. Oh, yeah, no, this should be fun. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. Yeah. That's pretty cool though. It also posted the poll. I didn't realize it would do that. One of the top 3 kingdoms groups to skip. One of the top 3, Jack. That's messed up, man. Yeah, you're just like, all right, man. Rage is number 1, so they're gonna have to skip the season. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. Oh, I guess I still gotta wait a little bit. Okay, no worries. Let's go ahead and continue. This should be fun. This should be good stuff. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Oh, my bad. Hang on. Let me just see real quick. What do we have? Ogazin says if they force one of the top teams to skip, expect many people to quit. Honestly, yeah. I mean, that'd be rough if they did, because those guys will have to skip many seasons to be in G2 matchmaking pool again. Yeah. Doom says, do farms count in matchmaking now, NASTi? So for matchmaking, the way, from what I know as of what was last posted, is that any and all accounts count towards matchmaking. However, I believe it's accounts that are under 15 million, that are at 15 million and below, don't count towards migration. I think it is. So like your migration status in the kingdom. That's what I understand it to be as of last. But what I will say is I'm not covering that. Or sorry, I'm not, when you look at my power numbers, I'm looking at fighting power. I'm looking at punching power. So even though I have the data for like the total power of a kingdom, that's not what I'm showing. I just don't think that's relevant, right? Now, maybe it could be relevant when it, like, to a degree, when it comes to maybe if you're trying to get a little bit more accurate on seedings, right? On like who gets A, B, C, D. But I would rather show off fighting PvP stats and punching power for kingdoms than kind of just showing off total power. Sure, is it something that could be just like a nice to see, a nice to know to include? Okay, that's fine. I don't know. That's just not something that I think is the most important thing, and I think it's something that I would want to include. But the short answer is yes. Those would be counted in your kingdom power. Arson, what's up? Have you done the CD groups? Not yet. Not yet. Gavin, what's up, man? Yo. Asad, which team got the odd number? We won't know that until Brink of War to see who maybe got pushed out and didn't. Yeah. Kaya, what's up? What does M over P mean? So that's merits over power. Another way is it's just merits, yeah, divided into the team power. So you could say it's like the PvP activity, right? So we could say like, I don't even know how I would write that out that far. Let's just say PvP percentage. Maybe that's better. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me show you and give you guys an example of how we're going to do this. So I'm going to load this sheet up on my other tab or my other screen, and then I'm going to fill this in as we go because it'll help me do it a lot faster if I do it this way. Okay. Yeah, right? Okay, so 174. Let's look at overall ranks first. Oh, God, where are they at? They're at 12 or something? 174? Okay, so they were at rank 57. And this will still work for the sums. I'll show you kind of how that'll work out here in a moment. So 249's at 26. So we're going to put them at rank 6. Okay. And then we'll look at Rage, which is 363. We'll put them at 3. And then we have 380, which they're at 11. Crap, 73. Okay. So the way this works is the lower the number, the higher average of kingdom rank placements are on that team. So an example, if you're looking at like the strongest team possible, would be 10, right? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, ideally, right? And you'd have the number of 10 because you'd have the rank 1 kingdom, the rank 2, the rank 3, the rank 4. Then you're just adding those numbers up, right? So 10 would be the best score possible when it comes to overall rank. But overall rank and seed rank can be different, right? Because remember, there are some C's and D's that are above some B's, right? When we looked at the fighting power for all of the A's and B's, and then we were also able to find some for some of the C's and D's. Arson, thank you for the sub. Hey, it means a lot, man. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's do overall rank for all the groups first, and then we'll come back and we'll do the seed rank, so we can show you guys that. So let's do 22. They're at 15 bill. So they're going to be 43. And then we have 40, which is TFS. And they're going to be number 4. And then 92 is 22 bill, right? That's what I'm looking at. So they're ranked 10. And then we'll do 161, which is 10 bill. And they're ranked 86. Okay, so see, you could see already that it kind of makes sense when you're looking at the data and the numbers, right? You could see here that 139 isn't too far off from 143. However, 4 position placements on top of the a little bit less than 6 billion power differential, and you could see again also equating to what, plus 32 more 100 mil pluses between these two teams, and then it being plus 24 for the T5s, right? Whether or not 4 ranking placements does, it adds a little bit more so you can see. To me, I think the seed ranking is a little bit more interesting, but this is one of those things that I think is just kind of nice to see. Okay. So let's go into the next one. So next one we have here is going to be, we'll go here. So we got 30, which is, they're at 24 bill. So they're going to be 7. And then we got 259, which is at 13. And they're ranked 55. And then we have a 17 bill for 305. And they're 29. And then we have another 17 bill, which is, what, 314? Oops, where are they? 17.3. Oh, 33. There we go. Yeah. 24. Let me just make sure I got that right. 24, 30. Yeah, they're 7. And then 259. Ash, and they were at 13. Yeah. Okay, so this is right. So you'll see a lower rank score, right? Lower rank score, which means they chose stronger kingdoms. They chose stronger kingdoms on average. However, and even though, and again, this isn't to say that like the lower the rank score absolutely will always mean that they have that they will have chosen, because this is more so going off of the top 300 fighting or punching power for the kingdoms. It doesn't mean that the dispersion of power tiers or player power tiers is going to be the same. But it is interesting to see that even though they're very close in numbers, or at least in power, you can see that again the T5 dispersion is different there. Right? Like they have almost as many total T5s at 60 mil plus as the top team, but you can see they have about 100 less 100 mil players. So it's just, again, it's very interesting. All right. So let's do the next ones here. So for this one, we got 57 and they came in at what, 21? So they're 11 on the rank. And then we got 191. Which is 15 bill. So they're 44. And then 297 at 17. Excuse me. and they're 31. And then we have 18 bill, 320. And then they're 22. Well, damn, there you go. But what's interesting, so you could see the, so I think I'm seeing a little bit of a trend here, right? So some of the higher points, given that they're a little bit stronger, basically took like heavy on the top end, but went a little bit lower on the bottom end, right? Because you could see here that there are some B teams at around 15 to 17 bill. And with S2AK and Sura, they're at 11. Obviously, when you're looking at like T5 number wise, I mean, again, they're still at 94, 95. You can still compare some of that too as well to some of the other Bs, right? Like for example, or excuse me, that's for total. Yeah. If we looked at like 100 mil, 29, 35, 37 for VP22, 12 for G, and what you got 61 over an Ash, 16 at 100 mil plus. So it's not. I mean, you could see that there are some differences there, right, between the A's and the B's. But anyways, again, that kind of stuff to me is fascinating. So yeah, okay, let's go to 60, and let's take a look at them now for the Echo group. So they're what, 30, and I think they were number 2, right? Yeah. And then 73 SVR, and they were at 8. And they were 105. And then MFD 77, they were at 20. So that's going to be, what, 15? And then we got VW at 12. And that's 62. Oops. There you go. So in like this group's case, their number's a lot higher, and that's because they took weaker B team allies, right? Probably with SVR, right, really pushing them the highest there on the points. But you know, in their case, it could have either just been leftovers or Echo and MFD, you know, maybe just not wanting to stack the deck in a sense. So, but it's telling, right? Now, when we get to the seed ranks, that's going to be even more interesting because that'll show you what placement and what number and what rank A and B teams they selected. Ooh, it's getting exciting. Ah, my God, I love it. All right. 11 is at 11.7. Listen, I'm just going to nerd out on my own, so it's all good. Okay. So this would be 69, and then we don't even need to do anything. We know they're 1. 19 for BNR. Right? So that they're 20. So they came in at rank 20. And then 8.9 for HQ Divis 222. And they're 99. Okay. So you can see, look at that. So Echo and BTX kind of taking, this is interesting to me that they took this approach, and I wonder, did they take this so they could fight again? Is that what it's kind of showing me here? I don't know. It's just, this is very interesting to me because some people in the meme section were making, and we might take a look at the memes here in a bit, but some people in the meme section in the COD memes on the official Discord were saying that Echo and BTX were dodging and that they might have been trying to team up together. And I mean, the numbers look really close here. Who knows if that's the truth or not? The data looks really close to a point where if it's like you could see this potentially being a matchup, right? Just very interesting, very, very interesting. Wow, that's actually pretty cool that it illuminated it like that for us. Okay, so let's go to FA. They're at 13.2. And I think they're, yeah, here we go. And they're 80. So they ranked 54th. 176 EIS at 26. They ranked 5. A2G at 18. And that's 183. They ranked 23. And 302, 11.9. Okay, and they ranked 65. Okay. So a little bit more like lower, I'd say on the lower end, right, for what we've been seeing. Okay, let's do 68 GGS 21. So they came in at 12, and then ROV or ROG for 110 is 9. And then we got 220, which is going to be 11.4. And they came ranked in at 72, and then MBH at 10.4, which is 279. And they're 85. Okay, so 178 for them. Okay, hopefully we should be good now. Levels, I'm straight. Okay, we're good now. We can't hear you. You're muted for. Whoa, it's been 10 minutes? No way, dude. Oh my gosh, really? Oh my gosh, damn, you guys have been hitting me up on the muted thing for a minute now. They're like, damn, you have the best part of the stream. Oh, shots fired. Orc, thanks. Josh, thanks. Yo, Gilga knows me, man. He's like, he's 100% focused on the data. Yeah, no, absolutely. I probably, and plus I had my second window open too as well. Mike. Yeah. Aaron is, it's a spicy take there. Not sure if I agree. Dude, that's solid. I get it. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Senna, yeah, can you do a V lookup? Yeah, if I was familiar with the V if I've done a couple V lookups before, I was a little bit more familiar with the formula and whatnot, then yeah. I'm just not too familiar with it. I'd have to go watch a tutorial on how to do that. So that way, / probably just have someone walk me through it, and then I'd be a little bit more apprised on it. But you are right that it would most likely be faster. What can I say? I'm all about the manual labor just until I become a little bit more acquainted. Well, where's 20? Oh, 27 is 11 here. I do have a visitor in the main lobby, yeah. I thought my volume button was broken. Yawn. I thought my headset was deactivated again. Man, I appreciate the call. Remember, it's never on purpose. I don't know necessarily why it happens to as well. I've tried unplugging all my mics, all my wires, and plugging them back in, even before, just kind of doing a pre-test. And I don't think that I talk that loud as well, to where maybe the mic would have cut out. So it could just be that I have like an older PC tower, and I probably am just desperately in due of an update. I mean, my tower is probably 10 to like 12 years old, maybe even older than that. I've had this thing for years, and I've lugged it around everywhere. When I built it, it was kind of like a mid-end PC. So, if that shows anything. AXC will go 16. Which is, what did I say, 67? Ooh, and then 12.2 for 88. Yeah, but I'll try and look back more often. 18.247. Yeah, well, watch me say that, and it's already cut out again. 75 and 10. Okay. And they're 39th ranked. And then we have 18.6, 341. 21, awesome. And then 11.8 for 349. Sweet. You know what I was just thinking about too? I probably could remove these while I'm at it, because we're gonna have to do that anyways when we do the seed ranks. I'm still alive. Yeah, man. Did I miss ROG's rank? Krem, I'll show them all as well. So Visa's like, yo, just repeat everything you said. Absolutely. That's gonna be my next goal. Yeah, absolutely will be my next goal. Yeah, Gilgamesh is broke nasty. Listen, man, this is the thing. If I saved up, to be fair, if I saved up all the monthly earnings that I've made from YouTube, I probably could have easily invested that into, which I have been thinking about doing that now, is just kind of saving all the money I get from YouTube and just like anything that I get from them, just put that into my savings so I can budget out to get a new PC and maybe like a desk or something. or just, you know, a wider, larger desk. So yeah, I mean, again, that probably would be a good idea to do something like that soonish. Homestar, what's up? What does the 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, etc. simplify? So that's 60 to 80 mil, 80 mil to 100 mil, so on and so forth, right? So 100 mil, 125, 125 mil to 150, 150 mil to 200, and then 200 mil plus. Is what that does for us. Yeah. Also, if you're just joining us and you're enjoying the content, make sure you help us out. Throw us up. Thanks. Appreciate you. All right, let's finish this up so we can get to the seed ranks, because I think the seed ranks to me are probably going to be a little juicier, if you will. So what do I got here? 81 to 10, 4. Okay, so we'll give you an 84. And I got 119 and 18. And then we got 211 at 17. Oh, wow, you guys are actually pretty close together. Shockingly worked out well. 243 at 10. And 91. All right. 3 at 16. Cool. All right, let's try and get into a solid rhythm here. 87, 10, 5. And then 144, 15. Ooh. 17, 17. Well, that was interesting to say. 113, 97. 17, 193. And then 229, 98. All right, we're doing pretty good. 47, 13. 10, 2, 226. And we got 14, 9, 286. $14, 5, 375. 48. Awesome. So 145, 14. And 88, 153. 13, 9, 284. 12, 8, 359. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Oh, I guess I can do these too, huh? Just thinking about that. Now, the seed ranks are probably going to be lower numbers, and that's just because it's only going to go up to 82. No, sorry, 84, excuse me, right? Because there's 42 A's and 42 B's. So this one will be a little bit easier because there won't be as much scrolling, which means I should be able to input a little bit faster too as well. Two to one, rough life. Com made me check, though. He's like, yo, you're still muted. You made me check. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yeah, how dare you? I see what you did there. Bay, what's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome. Thank you for the sub. Man, it means a lot. Johnny, thank you for the sub. Hey, man, it means a lot. Appreciate you. All right, we're just doing a quick round of promos, and then we will continue with the seed ranks. Jefferson, what's up? Welcome. Bay, you asked, according to you, is it likely that... Max, come on. Oh, out of there. Go. Yeah, I don't want you in there, buddy. So many cords. Thanks. Is it likely that RFF... Sunday. What is today? Tuesday? Wow. Dude, these people do not talk in their Kingdom chat. That is weird. Max, come on. Oh, cool. Thank you. Is it likely that RFF will meet BXS or NTS? We will definitely talk about that as well shortly. Because I do want to get to some of the potential matchup conversations, and that'll be something that we can do as well. Yeah, I'm just finishing up right now, and we're just doing the in-game stuff, and then we're going to go right back to doing the seed rankings, and then we can move on to our next thing that we'd like to do. Just trying to spread some goodness out there in the air, if you feels me. Yeah. Viso, do you share the sheet later? Yes. So for anyone that's curious, I know I haven't probably said it yet during this stream, but I'll say it again. I'll say it now. The pinned comment. So for those of you, before I show that, right? So we have a public sheet. The public sheet is available to everyone. I usually update this at the end of my streams. That's what I've been doing. So if you do want to get access to the public sheet, how do you find that? Well, join the Discord. There's a link to the Discord in the pinned comment on the live chat. When you join the Discord, you will go to reaction roles when you join. You're going to click on CallofDragons, which is going to be this reaction. When you click on that reaction, it'll give you a role, hence reaction role. It should open up CallofDragons, this category. If it doesn't, just click the header and then go to where it says COD data stats, and the link is right here. You can bookmark it, save it, whatever you'd like to do, it is there for you. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Yeah. All right, let us continue. But yeah, if you guys would like to get access to it there, you are more than welcome to. Where am I going? 176 next. Athel, will you be doing C and D kingdoms? Yes, Athel, I will be doing the C and D kingdoms. We may do that after this. Yeah, we may do it after this, so we'll see. Again, we might do another poll and see what people would like for us to do next, because I think we had 2 other options as well. But no matter what, at some point I will be adding those. Because people have been asking me. People have been asking me to add the C and D kingdoms, and I feel like it's become somewhat of a running joke on the COD Discord, because people have now even been joking about it on my Discord about, yeah, we'll just say they're making C and D comments, and I'll leave it at that. Abdul, thanks for the sub. Appreciate you, means a lot. Yeah, this page is just the top rankings based on top 300 power. And this just kind of helps me, go in order and just keep track so I don't lose my spot. Papa, what's up, man? Is BN starting to show real data? Man, we always show real data, man. But as far as if you're talking about matchup data, we may show that as well later, because we just showed off the team data, and I'll probably give that a quick run through as well for anyone that might be just joining us recently. And then we'll get into, so I might do a quick show off for the team data, and then we'll get right back in and finish up the seed ranks that we want to do. So, we can see, if anyone was really out there making super teams and trying to get Diplo wins or not. Because apparently every KvK season, this always is a conversation, I'll say. For whatever reason, it always comes up. At least I should say every KvK season where Yeah, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Whether it's an official team up or if it's, in the Kings or Queens selecting kind of, ad hoc who they're going to team up with, even when there isn't any kind of official team up phase. Almost pretty much every season this happens, where people will point fingers and say that, oh, you guys are, just going after easy wins and, yada, yada, yada. It just, yeah. So, yeah. Sadly, it's something that apparently happens every season. Just depends on how many people. It just depends on how many people want to make it more known or more aware of how they feel about a particular matchup, we should say. Yeah, it's pretty funny actually. All right, where did I leave off at? 5:15. Was that what it was? No, it's 3:14. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, almost done, and then we will continue our journey here. Also, we're almost at 50 likes. 6 more. You rascals. You guys can do it. I believe in you. Okay, we're stuck at 3:14. Sick life. All right, let's... Oh, my bad. Let me show off the teams, because, again, we got some new people that are joining right now. So, to state it real quick, all of the teams at the moment have been confirmed. Once the matchmaking phase started, which was a little over an hour ago, we didn't see any team movement. So all these teams are confirmed at the moment. So I'll just kind of give you guys a quick run through, again, for just some of the new peeps hanging out with us, just so you guys get a quick look, and then we'll go right back into the seed rankings. Ooh, maybe I'll take this opportunity to grab a bite, if it feels me. Mm-hmm. Where was I? Oh, there we go. Viso says, appreciate that. I was your Discord member since 2023. Damn, I appreciate the love there, Viso. Maybe I should just 2 at a time, because I have to account for my head. Right? I was just thinking about that. Yeah. Yomu says, any ETA on how long till you yap on matchups? So we did talk about matchups yesterday, mainly one that we gave an example of. But we might do that. That could be one of the things that we do next. So it just kind of depends what people vote on, wanting to see a little bit more of. I'm just doing a quick showing right now for the teams that have already been announced, just so if people want to just kind of look at them real quick before we move on. All right. And that should be the last one. All right. So how are we going to do seed ranks? Now, what do I mean when I say seed rank? So an example of this would be something like this. So if I go through and we sort this based on letter. So I would do D, boom. Right, so you can see we have 42 A's and we should be at 84 for the B's, which we are. Okay, awesome. So we have 42 A's, 42 B's. The seed rank is important because let's say you have BTX as the #1 kingdom, right, based on fighting power, elected to say, okay, well, we're going to team up with what is technically the #2 A seed, right? Because you can't have Paragons team up with each other. So I would say they are the #2. And they would be the #2 to Echo or Rage as well, right? But if you want to say they're the #4, okay, that's fine. So you could say, okay, well, BTX is the number 1A, and TFS is the number 4A. And then they teamed up with the wherever, right? Where's okay, yeah. So not okay, all right. So they teamed up with the number 1 and number 2B as an example. Looking at the seed ranks, it would show you that. And it would also show you the rank of the seeded kingdoms that other kingdoms went after as allies. And so to me, like, that could be a little telling in who people decided and opted to go with based on where they ranked. So that's just kind of give you an example, right? Okay. So let's do a little plugging here now that I have all this set up. And I've gone through my explanation. All right, bam. So let's look at the first one. So this is going to be what, S2AK, or sorry, 174, Kingdom 174 at 12.9, right? Cool. And I think we should, okay, cool. Yeah, it did work out. So they're a B 174 at 12.9. Okay. Ooh, hang on. I just realized I have to adjust this. Yeah, one sec. So I have to go B, I have to do 1, 2. Okay, hang on, we're good here. I just realized I had to do like separate 1 through things. Okay, good. All right, we're good. Fantastic. So 174 at 12.9 is B12, right? So we'll say B12, right? Or actually, I guess I could just put 12. It probably doesn't matter because they're going to know it's B, so you'll be able to figure that part out. 249 is 26. Right, okay. So they are the number 5, we'll say, right? Because the top 3 are paragons in this case. So, well, I guess it depends. Well, I'm trying to think how you guys want to do it, because the paragons can't team up with each other, and there can only be one of each. So technically, in this case, TFS and / Kingdom 40 would be like the number 1 option at that point. So I have to think about that. So do I... Well, no, I guess it doesn't matter, because on the paragons, it's like you still have to work with them anyways. I wonder if I should make a note, though, that says like teams 1 through 3 are paragons, because if I removed them, yeah, because if I removed them, then TFS would be like the number 1 option as a teammate. But because like the way the Bs are set up is like the top 3 B kingdoms are not paragons like the top 3 A's are, which don't ask me why that doesn't make sense, because I am slightly already a little bit lost on that one. We could have a whole conversation on that. Papa says Echo 1, BTX2, Rage. Oh, wait, Echo 1, BTX2, Rage 3, TFS 4, WB5. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe I just need to do a different, to like count it from the non-paragons. Like, so just basically do a different distinction for paragons, and then have the numbers be where they are. Because it's just, it is a little interesting. So like, if I show you what I'm talking about, like why I'm having a slight dilemma, is because in this case, right, where you look at Rage, and so like Rage is Paragon A, right? So technically, I would put them at, this is an example, I'd put them at 3, right? And then Sura is B, they're 11, 4. So we'd go down to B and we'd look at 11.4 and service here, right? So they would be B26 as an example, right? So like that means that they were the 26th option or the 26th strongest B. And this would show that WBS at 26 billion was the number 5 option. However, where my slight dilemma is coming is because these top 3 kingdoms are paragons, right? So they can't team up with each other, which would mean that, like I said, TFS would technically, you could say, is like the number 1 teammate option on the A's. But again, maybe that doesn't really matter. It's just when you get to the B's, that's where it's interesting, because the top 3 Bs are 305, 297, 310, based on, you know, again, if it's just based on power, based on what I'm showing you for fighting power, right? That's not, their classifications are determined more off total power. So what I'm showing you is fighting power rankings, not necessarily that. So maybe it doesn't really matter, and I'm probably just overthinking it. Could be the case. I'm curious if anyone has any thoughts there, or if I'm just like really thinking about it too much, which maybe I am. Maybe I am. Yeah. Zaib says, don't count paragons. Okay. What's up says, why are we talking about seed rankings? Starting to be boring. Yo, damn. Come on, man, dude. Let me see here. What's up, Dark? I came here because I was told we were going to see if anyone Diplo won. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what we're doing right now. Tiny did Diplo win. Wrecking. Yo, we hit 50 likes. Nice. All right, 60 is our next goal. If you guys are just joining and you enjoy the content, you enjoy the stream, make sure you help us out. Throw us up. Thanks. Dark says, I mean, Rage WB is a clear Diplo win. Even the Bs they grabbed on top of WB. Anyone matches that, they lose. Okay, strong words from Dark. What Up says, agree, clearly a Diplo win for them. Okay, all right, interesting. All right. Azabe says, Rage wanted also VP in the team. Oh, they did? I didn't know that. No. I mean, let me see. What else about why was Boss not talking about that? Again, man, we like to look at the numbers first. Wrecking says, Boss, can I sleep over? Sure, bro. Dark said, Rage even kicked someone they had an agreement with because they found out someone they thought. Wait, what? Rage? You said Rage even kicked someone they had an agreement with because they found out someone they thought was a stronger B. Oh, was that the VP thing that someone said? Where Zaib said they wanted VP? Is that what you mean? Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Who? No, we're not. No, we're not. Guns. Oh my God, this guy, man. He always shows up at the worst time. I mean, talk about not a good friend. No, man. I appreciate the love. Appreciate the love, Guns. This guy, man. Oh, Dark says Rage kick. What's up, BB? What up, broski? You said Rage kicked their previous B team. Okay. Who was their previous? They replaced with SK, S2AK. Okay. Who was their previous B team? Creo, what's up? Yeah. Wrecking, Tiny likes hugs the long way. Damn it, bro. Dude, that is too funny. Gosh. Okay, they were stronger. Arborist, what's up? Chino, what's up? Enoch, what's up? Exagames, what's up? Llama says, I heard EIS begged Rage to team up, but they decided to ally with WB. I mean, it depends. I mean, Jizzle did make that post on. He did make that post on the COD Discord saying that they So what was it? What did he say? He said that EIS asked them and they were getting butthurt or something because they denied or didn't want. I'm not sure if any of that's true, but I know that was one of the posts that was going around. God, what's up, Cap? Isme, what's up? Senna, WB worked with TFS before, but they didn't work together given sides can be selected. Does that mean they hate each other? I don't know. Guns, what's up, baby? Hey, chat. Lowell, were you about to end also? No, we're not ending. I'm gonna go a little bit longer. Yeah. No, I appreciate I appreciate the appreciate the raid though. I was looking for someone to raid yesterday, and Princess had got off already. And because I when right before we ended, we still were going pretty strong. We still had about 200 people hanging out, and I went to go look up her channel, and I looked to see if anyone else was streaming, but no one was. So I could have passed it forward, but yeah, no, she wasn't streaming. Appreciate you. Yo, there's Tiny, Mister. I like hugs the long way. Yeah. Dark says SHPZ was previous B team. They are with ES now. Okay. Where's SHPZ? Who are they with? Okay, so SHPZ was 11-9, 113-26. And they swapped for S2AK. What did I say? 94-29? What did I say? 113-26. So they swapped them for what, 1 billion more power and 3 more 100 mil pluses? Okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is. I guess it depends on how much you value the 3 more 100 mil pluses, which, well, actually, we'd have to look at this, right? So it's, what, 11.35? And then SHPZ is, okay, yeah. So that's a lot more. Because this is 3-1. So, what did I say, 11.35? So that's 19 at 125 mil and above versus 4. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's okay. I get it. That obviously is when you look at it like that. Yeah, that's a bigger number value. Also, if you guys are just joining us and you enjoy the content, you enjoy the stream, help us out. Make sure to throw us out. Thanks, because it helps get this out to that. Just that much more. Thank you. Okay, hang on. Did Guns send me something? Let me see here. Oh my God, Guns! Why did you send me that? Okay, we're just gonna report. There we go. No, I was joking. Was that good? I was curious. Did I catch anyone off guard? Yeah. All right, let me see here. Not a big sample size. Yeah. Oh man, I thought I mean that's for the after dark stuff, man. That's for the after dark stuff. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, you said some stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna do this with the matchup stuff too as well. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. You and me had like similar ideas. Yeah, I wanted to do this on the matchup stuff. Yeah. No, this is cool though. I see you did it for the alliances on the polls. Some of these are pretty close. Like, not bad. No spoilers for Guns True Height. Too funny. God. Tiny says, "Bish, when CD data you low." Damn, bro. No, did I mute again? Uh-oh. Okay, good. Whew, man. FFS, what's up? Edward, what's up, man? No spoilers for Guns True. You guys, man. Barbs, what's up? Black Semi Turtles like accidentally leak it. Yeah, right. That's too funny. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about this on the seed ranks. You know what? Let me just finish it because I want to, and at the same time, I'll just do it the way that I'm doing it now, and then yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're already like halfway committed. Can we have a poll to skip the seed? Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Listen. Again, I can yeah. Okay. We could always do the seed. I guess I could always do the seed rankings later. So we could do. So we got a couple things we could do. Let's see here. Let me get a poll going. Okay. Hang on. What to do next? Because we got a couple things we could do. So we can finish compiling CD kingdom data, or we could start doing matchups. So we could start voting and comparing team matchups. Is there anything else that I could think of right now before we start? I think probably one of those. Voting, comparing team matchups, which would be us putting those together. We already did one that we did yesterday. Compiling. I don't know if there's a third option. Yeah, here we go. Go through COD meme channel. Okay, there we go. We're starting the poll. Arsenic, what's up? Welcome. All right, the poll is started. What are we doing next? We already know what Tiny's voting for, by the way. So, yeah. So, like, the group predictions was like, well, this is what we did yesterday, right? For the C and D, I'm going to do it no matter what. It'll just either whether we do it now or later. But that's like this. That's where we're going through each of the kingdoms. We're seeing who registered, who didn't register, and then we're plugging in their data for that. And then we also have to go through and look at the teams. But I want to plug. I'd have to plug this in first before we get. Well, I guess we could probably do the teams anyways. Yeah. Okay, votes are coming in. Okay, it seems pretty overwhelming. Pretty overwhelming right now. Gun says, yeah, it's for the camps, though. Just use the alliances as reference. Oh, got you. Zeiss says, by the way, are this 6 to 8 extension merits? No, that's for player power tiers. So 6 to 8 would be 60 to 80 mil. 8 to 10 is 80 to 100 mil, and then 10 to 25, 100, 125, 125, 150, 150, 200, 200 plus. Is how we're looking at that. Okay. Well, it looks like we're pretty set here for votes. 70% wants us to go over matchups and to start putting some of those together. So we will do that, which means Tiny's finished compiling C&D data will have to wait. So, all right, we'll do that next. I'm gonna unsub. I'm gonna unsub if we don't get the CG stats. Yeah, I'll do it. Maybe I'll do the teams first, and then I can go back and plug in the rest. So yeah. Turtle said, I'll sub if you do skip it. Okay, so this is our first matchup that we have right now. You already subbed or you can't talk. That's a good point. Tiny's holding us hostage. Okay, so this is the first matchup. And this is the one that we looked at yesterday. And once we basically finished compiling most of the teams, we surmised that, because you have to look at, like, okay, what we talked about yesterday, who's the number one team? It's pretty clear, I think, right? The number one team at this point is the S2AK WBS Racer. I don't think anyone's really saying otherwise. So it's easier to figure out what a potential matchup will be when you know who the number one is, because then it's a matter of, okay, how do we figure out who's number two? right? Who would be who would be the best contender at that point? And so for this one, for me at least, again, I think the VP22, the TFSWA, the GDW team would be the closest matchup for a couple factors that we talked about yesterday. So that's what I would like to see in the number one KvK, which we also talked about this yesterday as well, is that there is a very interesting storyline here that I don't know how much play it's going to get, but it is something that I talked about on stream yesterday when we had that massive stream, right? We peaked at almost like 250. It was awesome. But one of the things that I said during the stream yesterday was that the TFS storyline here in Kingdom 40 is absolutely one to keep an eye out on. And I think it's one that deserves a level of recognition and at least awareness brought to it. And I'll just say this briefly before we move on to the next potential match for who might be in the number 2 KvK matchup, is that TFS went from being in the number 1 KvK group just for multiple seasons in a row. And they go from that to basically, you know, doing their rebuild, falling apart, burning down to some degree, at least some embers that floated around there, and then had to rebuild and work their way all the way back up to the number 1 KvK group, right? And like I said, I think that there's a very good chance they will make it into the number 1 KvK group. However, they have been kind of flirting with that number 2, number 3 KvK group the last couple seasons, right? Kind of taking a little bit more of a slower rebuild approach. So, yeah. Anyways, now let's get to who do we think is going to be the number 2 KvK group, right? So who would be the third best team that we have left over at the moment, right? Is kind of how we want to look at that. Now, I need to update this too as well on group predictions. So we need to go to teams and I need to grab, I think, all of these, and I need to update the page. One moment, because the group predictions was from yesterday. All right, awesome. Let's grab that. And then I'm going to go, oops, nope, we're going to go here, group predictions. Sweetness. Okay, that worked out pretty good. It worked out the way I wanted it to. Lovely. So next strongest team, who are we looking at? Well, it's probably going to be maybe the 30 NA Ash 05DK, maybe the Echo SVR MFDVW. That possibly could be who we're looking at. That might actually not be an awful matchup, potentially as well. I'm kind of getting some slightly sexiest vibes the more that I think about this. Maybe the NF, let me see here. Even 359, right? So we also want to look at that for 100 mils. 40s. Yeah, we got to look at some other comparison stuff, right? So where are people at like 150, 200 mil plus, 34, 24? I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot, right? So when you're just looking at 150 and 200, I mean, that, yeah. So, and I wonder, like, so 77, 38, I guess that's the other thing to consider too as well, right? So like this team has, in this matchup, right, you got 77 and 38. So they have 9 more 200 mil pluses, 13 more 150 mil pluses. And then they have, what is that, 8? 3, 8? Yeah, 8 more 125 mil pluses when you're looking at the numbers there. Okay. So was it 30, 77, 38? Yeah. I don't know. Oh, actually, yeah, there you go. Echo probably would be in that case, huh? Because they're probably closest if you're looking at 150, 200. But we had 329, 554. That's interesting. See, now that I'm looking a little bit more at some of the individual numbers, part of me almost wonders if maybe, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I still feel good about what we were saying yesterday, where I like the PvP engagement percentage from this team a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, could I still maybe see the Echo team possibly go up against the Rage team? Sure. I do think maybe that actually would be the second best option compared to the TFS team. I do think it is close, though, in some of those regards. Okay. So in that case, who's going to be the second best team at the moment, right? What's up says no one cares about CCTD. Regina, what's up? Welcome. Oh my God. Davo says, I feel sorry for TFS and WAO recruiting so well, only to be locked and to get smashed by a Diplo win Rage squad. Strong. I mean, they're 77-38 for their numbers. I mean, 399. I mean, I think they probably have the most, right? 77-38. Let me see. Yeah, they do. So they have the most 200 mil pluses. They beat out the Echo team by 4. And then they have 77 150 mil pluses, which beats out the Echo team by 3. However, the 100 mil plus is a lot bigger of a gap, right? It's 329 to 399. I mean, you're basically looking at, what is that? 70. So you have 70 more 100 mil pluses. And then they also have 60 more total T5. So, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, I mean, 150 mil, 200 mil, they're the closest, obviously. But again, they have 9 bill less power, which means, 9 bill ish, maybe 7, 8 bill ish less troops. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think that there's like an effortless, super, super close matchup. I think probably the closest ones would be the TFS or the Echo team going up against Rage. Those are most likely going to be the ones that would be the closest. So, excuse me, if that's the case, then I think at this point, probably you're going to look at, what is it, 27? I think this next one, do CD, I want to see teams tiny. Yeah. You don't have to donate, but thank you. We will get there. We will get there, but thank you. So to me, on the second team now, I'm probably thinking, when I'm just looking at the numbers, 34. Yeah. I mean, I'm actually kind of thinking maybe the Echo and the BTX one isn't that bad. I understand that maybe some people may not want to necessarily see that, but I mean, the numbers on paper, when you look at the amount of 200 mil, 150 mil pluses, the closest for the hundreds, you guys, man. Tony says, now please. Turtle says, don't do C&D. Thank you guys for the donos. You do not have to counter dono each other. A chat message will suffice. But as always, thank you. I appreciate. Rex says, Bian, I will come to Atlanta if we don't see CCD. Yeah. Okay. I'm noticing a trend. First off, bars. Oh my gosh. With the 699 dono, thank you. C&D now. We will get there. Merc says Echo versus Rage. Forgot. Stan. Where is Stan coming in from? Tiny says, bruh, CT right now, please. First off, Tiny, listen. Okay, thank you. I'm going to say something that hopefully will slow down the donos. is even if I did the C's and D's right now, even if I just did the teams, it's going to take a minute because there's more C's and D's than there are A's and B's. So I'm just saying it would take more time. Also, Stan says, don't do it. Thank you, Stan. Very kind of you. Wait, what? Everyone's like, oh, Tiny's got to go to bed, but then it's okay. I don't mind waiting. Yeah. Understood. Listen, people voted for this one. So I want to... you guys, man. Okay, you guys can just chat normally. Like, that is a completely fine thing to do. But again, in earnest efforts of at least calling attention, Rhinos, thank you very much for the 10 CA dono. Rhino said Sod nerfed us again. Oh my god. P2 says, but we are voting for it now. Deck, isn't Tiny the guy that likes hugs the long way? Oh my gosh. Again, a simple chat will suffice. I'm noticing a scaling trend recently. Lord Almighty. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where the yeah, I don't know where the whole Sod nerfed us thing again. Unless you mean Sod nerfed you based on the teammates, the teammates that were chosen. Okay, I need some water. I need some water. Yeah, what's going on, dude? Do all these people live in Canada? What's going on with this CA currency conversion? Okay, Barbs, thank you, Barbs. Barb says, okay, for you, just the D. I'm gonna be honest, man. I did this double CrossFit workout this morning, and I was getting my arse torn up. It felt like I was probably getting the D. I'm gonna keep it real. So my body feels like Jello and a spaghetti. If those are symptoms of getting the D in a very strong workout, platonically, of course, so be it. Yeah, you guys, jeez. Wrecking Ball says we need all the T's. I don't get it. I don't get it. Hopefully no one memes that one. Dreamcast says AB doing Diplo wins. What up? Keep your money to upgrade your access and reach ABC. Damn. Jeez, that is strong. That is strong. Maybe too strong. Flippa, what's up? Welcome. Yo, what server is Boss NASTi rooting for? Listen, man, I'm rooting for whatever KvK matchup gets us the most amount of PvP throughout the entire season. That's the one I'm rooting for, and I'll continue. That's always been my consistency there. But first off, man, thanks you guys for tuning in, and for those of you that are still here and hanging out with us, as always, right? If you enjoy the content, you enjoy the stream, make sure you help us out. Throw us up. Thanks. Which is a like. It's a thumb up. I mean, if that wasn't clearly apparent. Okay. So let me finally attempt to continue now with what I was saying, which is that I still think, based on what we're looking at here, I do like the Echo and the BTX matchup. I do think it is a little bit closer, especially because at the 150 and the 200 mil power tier, those are like the next two strongest, if you really think about it, given that they're up. So let's say we do that. Let's say we put Echo and BTX against each other. I just don't know if I really see anywhere else. I just don't know if I see any other way around that. Like, to me, that just feels like that's the next matchup that would need to happen, right? That's what I'm feeling right now. So let's say this is going to be the matchup, and we'll go purple. We're going to go a little purple here on this one. And let me do this. And wait, what did I do here? Yeah, let's merge. We're going to go differentials. And then I need to do this because we did the thick bordering last time, I think. Oops, no, didn't want to do that one. I want to do the long one. Oopsies. No, how dare you do me like that? Whoa. Why does it default? Okay, here we go. Super interesting. Yeah, why isn't it letting me? Oh, maybe because I added the differential thing in first, huh? Let's do this. Okay. This probably... What is going on? Why isn't it letting me border this whole thing? Huh. I'm slightly confused now on why it's not letting me... Tiny says CD, please. Also, what's up is a bitch. I mean, I don't even know what's happening right now. That's all I'm going to say. Raina, what up, girl? I think devs will do Echo versus BTX. Oh, you know, maybe it's because I need to put, like, plug stuff in here, huh? Maybe. He said, I think devs will do Echo BTX just so they could sit back and eat popcorn. Don't you mean eat popcorn, collect checks, and make money? Cupid says, stop begging for the tea. FFS says, give it to Yami. Wrecking Ball, we want the tea. Zaib says, but imagine Echo BTX did everything to meet each other and end up versus EIS NF matchups. I mean, again, I think it looks good. Yeah. No, Tiny, I did that, broski. Turtle. Jeez. Can't hear those C's and D's from down there. Thank you, Turtle, for the tono. I appreciate some shots fired, but okay. But not the type of border. Oh, okay. True story? I did. No, look. I click border, but when I click border, it goes here. What do you mean I'm not selecting? I did this before. It doesn't. What do you mean it doesn't? Oh. Thanks, Tiny. He's like, there you go. I'm going to be honest. I probably should have just clicked it and then just seen for my... No, because I did it good yesterday. I was totally fine yesterday, man. It must be just everything that's happening right now. It's throwing me off. It's throwing me off. Because, people who were here yesterday know that I did a good job. Okay, BN, good boy, did good job. We were straight. So, it's probably just slightly too much overthinking. Okay, so I like this matchup, right? I think if we're looking at the number 2 KvK group, but yes, thank you, Senpai Tiny. I will let you reach around me the long way, only once, when no one's looking. So this, I think, could be the good number 2 group. And so now we need to look at some numbers here, right? So it's going to be... Oh, gosh, what is this? I need to remember now how we did this. So let's go here. I wonder if I can just do this. Will it adjust for me? Ooh, maybe it will. Ooh. Is that right? No. Oh, no, that is right. 4, 3. Yeah. Oh, cool. So I think we're set. Yeah, 1, 5. Oh, yeah, we're Gucci. Cool. 30... minus, okay, yeah, no, solid. There we go. All right, we're good. So this is, yeah, let me change this. Yeah. Let's go, predicting. Okay, yo, I updated the title just for you, Tiny. Oh God, it's they're extreme laughing on the inside. Yeah. As always, if you guys are enjoying the stream, help us out. Make sure to help us out with a... Right, next goal is going to be 80 likes. Thank you, guys. Too kind. Okay, so after all of that time, that we've spent, we now feel like this could be the second group. I think, again, face value numbers, this to me looks like this could be the second group. Laughing on the inside, but showing on the outside. Yeah. Right, it's okay. We had half the time I copy paste formatting. No, listen, I should. Like, again, Jag was helping me out yesterday. There was a few other people helping me out. Like, I'm the first person to say, knowledge is power, and, soak it up from anyone that is willing to give you some good knowledge to put you on some game, especially if it works out. Always be open to that, no matter what. I think being humble in those situations and, having a level of self-awareness on what you don't know and what you can learn from someone else, everyone should hopefully take something away like that. What's up says you're lucky we get dislike. Oh my God. Time to quit. Tony says I clipped that shit. Talking mushrooms. Okay. Rough life. That'll be a rough life for me tomorrow. So... Rex says AMP don't matter. Jeez. Deku says, Tiny, I didn't know you were giving reach arounds. I would have supported you ages ago had I known. Oh boy. Okay. So Rex is like, bro, COD Dev's looking at this video trying to find out if he is a new hire. If he is a new hire. Yeah. Yeah. I mean... Yeah, new hire. Yeah, they're like, oh my God, this is great. Let's just go with the matchups that Boss is already putting together for us. Yeah, Lonnie, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we got the potential number 1 group. We got the number 2 group. Who would be the number 3 group? Okay, so that's what we're gonna figure out. Okay, Tiny, listen, if I can get these next 3 groups finished in the next like 5 minutes or 5-10 minutes, I will start pulling data for the C and Ds, and I'll start doing the teams. I'll commit to that. But so in that case, I need to laser focus. So we got number 3 group. If you guys have any ideas, let us know. Also, 9 likes away from 80. We can get there. Okay. Let me woosaw and just like soak some in. Okay, maybe, how about 30 NA's group and EIS? Maybe, unless that's too... No, actually, I kind of like this. I kind of ish like this. I mean, they have 384. I mean, they're probably the closest, yeah, because you can't... I don't think you're going to be able to go in... Well, no, okay, maybe the GG group might not be bad. Lonnie says, thanks for the shout-out, bro. Love the work you do for us. Oh, man, I appreciate that. That means more than you know. Thank you so much, man, for the kind words. Okay. So, I'm thinking... I don't get it. You guys. Aimbot Bobby... First off, thank you for the dono, Bobby. Says me and Tiny can give free reach arounds. I mean, at least charge a nickel, my guy. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably it, right? Yeah, because none of these I think are close when we're looking at these. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. There's 10 groups. I'm tripping. I thought there was a little bit less. So... yeah, man. So part of me's thinking, I don't know, man. Again, initially, okay, Raina's saying the GG group. So you think it should be GG? Because I think the next best group, yeah. I mean, it's either got to be the 30 NA group, right? Or it's got to be the EIS group. Right? Probably has to be, maybe even the OMG group isn't bad as well. But because I'm just, again, right? We need to look at aimbot Bobby, rounds. Oh, I thought you meant rounds, like multiple rounds. Okay, my bad. you wanted to clarify and state around. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. You could have just texted that. That would have been fine. That would have sufficed. But nonetheless, thank you. I appreciate the dono. It means a lot. Okay. Raina says, I don't think. Okay, Grant, you say EIS ROG. One up says GG Group sucks. They have ROG. Damn, bro. Okay, so you think EIS ROG. Okay. So you think this group. Okay. I mean, I think they are the only two remaining groups with over 300, 100 mil plus players left. So, I mean, that could be something. The only thing I was comparing was looking a little bit more on the end of like the 150 and the 200 mils here, right? At 30 and 24. But I mean, I guess I also have to consider the 125s. That wouldn't be bad, right? Because I feel like this would probably be a little bit of a closer number, but obviously the 100 mils are just way above that. So again, maybe it's not that awful. But then if you do ROGEIS, I mean, the problem there is that EIS is just, the problem there is like EIS is just way more. It feels like, I mean, the only category they don't lead them in there would be in total T5s, right? But that's, I mean, what? That's plus 16. That's at 60 mil plus. I mean, but they lead in the major categories at 125 and above, right? You got plus 29, plus 18, and then plus 14. I don't know. Part of me just feels like that's a lot, right? But even if we did 30 anyway, that's 55, 34, 24. I mean, like I said, to me, that's closer, right, than this. Because you're comparing 130, 152 versus 83, 91. So 152 versus 91. And then if I come up here, that's 89, 99, 109, 113, 152. So you're like, what, 39 away at that point? I mean, I do think that is a little bit closer. Yeah. And then the other thing is that you still got the about 3.5 more bill to work with on NA. I mean, yeah, like obviously I'm not crazy about the 384 to 298, but yeah. Yeah, that's the problem, is that when you look at this, actually EIS might be the next best group. So they might be like the number 5 group at that point. Right? Huh. I mean, damn, maybe they even could have went up against Echo. I mean, the matchup's close enough, so I don't think it's going to be too wild. Yeah. Rocky says, "Band, I will send a toilet pic if I don't get the CCTTs." Rough life, man. It's a rough life for me. Yeah. Rainbot says, "Wrecking Ball is my son." Yami. What up, Yami? What up, girl? Miguel Boss is getting shower on donations. Man, I appreciate. Anytime. Raina says, yeah, there's not really a good matchup for it. ES might be worse than Echo BTX for slumming it to avoid rage. Yeah, I mean, and again, and Raina's, you're kind of on to where I was going with it, is that it just doesn't feel like there's a next best matchup, right, in that front. It's just kind of what it feels like. Fahab, what up, man? Morning, BN. Just woke up. I think I missed your thoughts on BTX earlier. Mind giving a quick TLDR on what you said about their team and who they might end up facing? Dark says EIS, BTX, let's make it happen. Yeah. No. So my thoughts, sorry, who did I say? Yeah, I said for BTX FOB, I thought, the Echo, the BTX matchup. I do think potentially, I do think potentially maybe you could swap BTX for EIS, for the EIS team. I think I maybe like the BTX matchup a little bit more. But I do think the EIS team could be a close second if you're putting them up against Echo. The reason I think I'm going to give it a little bit more, though, is just because the total T5 numbers and the 100 mil plus numbers are a little bit more in favor of BTX. Power is close. The PvP engagement percentage is only about a percent difference. But obviously, you have a little bit more 150 and a few more 200 mil pluses. So that was kind of my thought there behind it. But like I said, I do think EIS could be a close second. I just don't know if I would maybe fully. I mean, maybe. I mean, like I said, they have 10.73% to 10.84, so they're like 0.11. So they're actually, their PvP engagement is a little bit closer. Like I said, I think it could be BTX or EIS. I'm just kind of putting BTX in there for now. But yeah, so hopefully that helps. Those are my thoughts that I had shared earlier. Zaib says BTX versus EIS confirmed. Kyle already told it. Merc says, don't ever say Echo versus EIS. Man, you guys got a lot to say tonight, man. Also, 4 more likes until we're at 80. I believe in you. Devis, what's up, man? Welcome. So, yeah. Okay, but third team. So, again, we got to try and get this third matchup in. Otherwise, Tiny's going to get mad at us again and basically throw money at the wall. So, let me see on the third matchup. So, we could do... Yeah, I mean, I know as I was saying this earlier, like I said, I don't think that there's a phenomenal one. 30 NA, EIS comes to mind. I think that could be. Yeah, 30 NA, EIS. Yeah, maybe RAC. Maybe. RAC. EIS. Honestly, I mean, any of these could be not bad, right? I just don't know how much stock. I just don't know how much stock I'm putting into EIS GG right now. Is where I'm going with this. I mean, I do like that the 100 mil plus numbers and the total T5 numbers are a little bit closer here. The thing that worries me is just, right? I mean, EIS has about would have a 3 bill power advantage. I mean, the PvP activity percentage is still super close. But like I said, it's just the amount of 125s, 150s, and 200 mil more players that is just, part of me just would like for that to be a little bit closer. Right. But the only closer matchup would be 30 NA. Right. So like, that's why I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's 30 NA versus EIS. Maybe that would be the number 3 matchup. Yeah, I mean, either that or RAC. That'd be like the only other one that I could see. Yeah. Because this would be 66. And I think you have to say the EIS team probably would be the next best team, right? Like maybe the number 5 team amongst. Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to put EIS up because I think no matter what, I think EIS is going to be there. And I think that makes sense for them to be. So I'm going to put them here because I do feel like the top spot, I do feel like they would be like the next number 5 group based on numbers and percentage for who they have. But then I think it comes down to, okay, well, who do you put up against them? And like I said, part of me feels like the 30 NA group isn't a bad matchup for them. Like on paper, I actually think at face value, it looks pretty good. Because as I was saying, the only other team I could maybe see would be the GG team or yeah. or the ROV team. I think, to me, I feel like that would be the other one. BN, hey, I have a question. When you pull power data of each server, do you include people who are not given recovery, who are not given? No, it doesn't. I don't know if there would be a way to do that, to be honest. Yeah, I again, now, to be fair, I could ask Fuzzy about that if there's a way to do that. My assumption is that yes, they are included, because I don't know if the data pools have something coded in there to where they're able to identify who is on the voucher recovery list and not include them, because that would be an extra step from my understanding. So it to my assumption is that it would include. Yeah. BH, what's up, man? Boss been smoking something tonight? Wait, what? Yeah, you trying to say I'm on that Cheech-a-chong? Lock it in. Should just lock it in. Yo, 3 more likes until we're at 80. We're almost there. I appreciate you guys. Super Diplo team. So I think for sake of locking this in, I think I'm going to lock them in. I feel like I'm going to lock in EIS in 38. Does anyone have any objections for that? Like, is there anyone out there that thinks to themselves, okay, because you can look at this data. For those of you that are curious, right? I have this on the public sheet, which here, just because I'm a kind soul, I'll link it here for you guys, right? So if you want to pull it up and follow along, you can look at it with me, right? And then just go to the Teams tab here. But like that link I just put in there, that's the public sheet. So, and again, once I finish the stream, I'll port over the rest of the stuff too. But you can also find a link to that on my Discord as well. So I'm curious. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm curious who do you guys think would be? Now again, I get the jokes about EIS. I understand. But like I said, I think on paper, EIS to me would be probably like the number 5. Like I would put them in the number 3 KvK group. But who do you think should be their opponent? Like I said, I'm leaning heavy right now on 30 NA. Like I feel like from what we've talked about, from the other teams and stats we've looked at face value, I feel like 30 NA probably is the closest. That's not to say that I think that they're overwhelmingly closer than 2 of the other teams we looked at. Like I said, I do think the GG team, and I also think potentially the RAC team could go up against EIS. I think those are 2 other teams that if you were trying to sell me on one or the other, I could see that. Yeah. Right. Like I think if you're looking at 125, 150, 200 mil plus, I think you probably give it a little bit more to the RAC team. However, you do have a lot more, right? You got over 360 plus 100 mils on there. You have more T5s, and I like the PvP engagement percentage from the GG team because that's better than the EIS team percentage. But it's, I don't know, it kind of just feels like you're picking your poison at that point, right? It's like, kind of a lesser of 2 evils. It feels a little bit to me like, because none of the other teams are as close in 125, 150, 200 mil pluses, PvP percentage, total T5s and 100 mil pluses. So that's why I'm saying, to me, it feels like this is the matchup that makes the most sense to me right now. So, okay, I'll keep reading, but I'm going to lock this one in for what I think would be the number 3 matchup. Okay, let's do this. Well, this, oops, hang on, but I have to merge these, right? Yeah, cool. So let's do this, and then we can see across the board. Okay, so there we go. We locked it in. We locked it in. All right. So this would be the number 3 KvK. And, oh, here, you know what we'll do? Let's do this. Let's merge this, and let's say number 1 KvK. and we'll do a bold, boom, boom. Right, there we go. And then I'm going to change the font to maybe red. So let's do number 1. And then, and again, these are just, you know, as I was saying, everyone knows, these are just projections. So let's do this one. And then we'll do number 2, KvK, and we'll bold that, and let's do red. Cool. And then we'll do this one. This will be number 3. Where's my red color? And we'll bold. Oopsies, did I not? Oops, hang on. Probably would help if I did the merge first, huh? Cool. All right. Ooh, did I underline? I did underline. Let's be fancy. Okay. All right. So that's what we got locked in right now for what we think probably would be the number 3. Let me see what you guys are saying, though, on that. So you said Coconuts is best match for EIS. Okay, you like the RAC team. Okay, damn. Arbor says, who is RAC? You guys are so messed up, man. Why do I ask questions for chat? I don't know. Sunrise says 30 NA, probably for EIS. Okay. We got Rhino says Echo versus BTX team. Dark Hill says BTX. BH says have Rage and EIS matchup from the community. Looks no one wants to fight those two. Wait, what? Fob says give 30 NA to WB and give EAS or Echo to BTX, and we call it the best KvK ever. Fob. Oh man, 82 likes, man. You guys are killing it, man. Already surpassing expectations. All right, next goal is going to be 90. Okay, but EIS versus Echo. Let me see here. Fob says run as you do, then give ES team Echo. You guys, man. Dark Hill's like our reputation is disbanding each season. Yo, Dark, I'm curious, Dark, who started that? Because why is it that I do feel like every season someone is making, or some people are making some kind of trolling jokes about, or like I'll even see some people like, yo, did you guys hear EIS is disbanding? And I feel like it happens. Was that like an inside thing or something from within EIS, or was it just people on the outside and then it just kind of caught momentum? Because I swear I feel like I see people say that every season. And part of me just feels like it's just a running joke now. Davis says BTX would run through EIS in 5 hours like they did to RAC. I mean, that was a pretty wild matchup, though, against RAC. Absolutely. Dark says, just doesn't seem reputation rumors to be true, sadly. Still here. Raina says, we were hoping for NF57, I think. Like those guys, good players. Davos, we all want to see BTX versus Echo. Yeah. Proven top 2 alliances in the game. Zaif says, NF without a prime. What? Arbor says, BTX hasn't proved themselves. Yeah, BTX and proven. I mean, listen, man, no matter what you think, no matter what anyone, I think, thinks or says about BTX and the Echo situation last season, I mean, if they do get matched up, I mean, you can absolutely bet your bottom dollar that is going to be a banger of a KvK season to watch. I would co-sign that. I think the matchup looks good. I think the matchup would be good if it did happen, is what I should say. ChatGPT says Rage Diplo. Coconut only 2v1 against RAC SSG, super proven. Rhinos, oh man, dude, thank you so much for the dono. Are you doing a YouTube video concerning the teams? Yes, I will be doing solo stuff. So again, I've only had time so far to again, that's why you haven't seen me do a video upload the last 2 days. Just because I was sorting through all the data that Fuzzy got me yesterday and the day before, and I just updated the most recent data sheet, which was from yesterday, which again did have some just a few accuracy corrections and updates, and we went a little bit over that today. But I will be releasing. I'll be doing a separate video showcasing the sheet that I'm doing, and I'll tell people how to access that as well. And then I will also do another separate video announcing all the teams, and I'll even do a third video that goes over the potential matchups as well. Probably starting with the AB teams. So yeah, that absolutely is the plan there, Rhinos. And I'm hoping I might be able to start getting those up as early as tomorrow. Thankfully, we do have a good bit of time, right? Because, what am I doing here? right? The season doesn't begin until the 16th. So, I mean, if you think about it, we have 8 days, 7 days from now until season begins of honestly just a mass amount of content and streaming content that we can put out to help everyone kind of prep for once the season starts. The interesting part about this, and I don't know if anyone noticed this, but I'm going to point this out. For any of you that and maybe they were doing this, maybe they were just testing this out and only doing this in certain seasons. But if you recall, last season they started Brink of War after the season began. And then this season, now Brink of War is starting before the season begins, which I like. I prefer that myself, because that means that if the season is happening, if Brink of War happens before the season starts, that means we'll hear about the group matchups before the season starts. So I personally like that a little bit more, but I might be slightly biased on that front, just for my own preference on timeline order for pre-KvK. Yeah. Dark says, boss, it's Echo every season saying we will disband the same people start the room every season. Jeez. I mean, listen, man, there's some dedication going on there, without a doubt, which is absolutely hilarious. I'm sure it's probably not fun. It's probably getting sick and old and tired at this point, but Dark says every season our top Krakens quit too. Miranda says, Dark, don't worry, every season BTX rumors that ROG disband too. Wild, man. Coca says no one's talking about ROG cheese. Arborist, TFS and ES are the only OG kingdoms still around. No, ROG is as well. 110 is still, but I mean, if you're talking like pre-100, okay. But ROG is still, and RK in Kingdom 3, they're still around as well. So there's a couple. If I went through the whole list, I could tell you all of the kingdoms from like 0 to 100 that are still like the OGs and still around. Yeah. Zype says 90-10 on Echo from Guns Chat Pool. Yeah. Fook, what's up, man? Welcome. EVG. Dab. That was SC97. Rhino says, I really hope we get someone stronger than us. We need some good fights. Yeah. Fob. Living in a building held up by 2 stones about to collapse any second. Aren't we just calling that a fancy way of disbanding? Jeez, just the shots are just being constantly thrown out. It's getting slightly aggressive. Arbor says, isn't SG97 mostly T4 Alliance? Davis, we have T5s who said we are T4 Alliance. Wait, you got your own T5s that are telling people you're a T4 Alliance? Dude, I love the underselling there. Talk about talk about internal propaganda. That's bold. Isn't that nuts, man? If you had your own T5 players in your kingdom that were going around and like telling people like, guys, we're T4, like just match up against us. Chris, what's up, man? Welcome. 3 likes away from 90. We can do it. And as always, man, if you guys are enjoying the content, you enjoy the stream, help us out. Thanks. Good evening, man. How are you? Doing good, man. We're just doing some group predictions right now. We're doing some KvK group and matchup predictions for the G2 pool. So we've done 3 groups right now. Now we need to do number 4. Oh, what time is it? Oh my God, it's 10:16. I have to get up to work out tomorrow too as well. So let me see. Hang on. Let me just see how I'm doing on time. We've been going almost 3 hours. And I got to get up at 6:25. I'm just trying to think this out. So if I get up at 6:25 and I go to bed no later than like 10:45, 11-ish, what's that, like 7.5 hours I'll get? Okay, so it's not awful. It's not awful. Okay, yeah. We'll keep going a little bit more. I want to try and at least do maybe 1 or 2 matchup prediction groups, and then we can try and maybe finish this up tomorrow, because I'll be able to stream earlier as well. So for those of you, so let me get 2 important things out of the way, and then we also want to try and figure out and get 2 more. So number 1, because I know we just got a little bit more of an influx of some new peeps hanging out. Also, 1 more like away from 90. I believe in you all. Number one is that for those of you that are tuning in, if you do want to get access to the public spreadsheet, I'm showing you the master right now. I have a public one. There's always a bunch of people that are hanging out. You see there's like 12 people, 11, 12 people that are hanging out, checking it out right now. I update, just so you know, I update the public spreadsheet. I've been doing it daily when I finish streaming. If you want to get access to that, you can join the Discord. A link to that is going to be in the pinned comment on the live chat. When you join the Discord, and I'll walk you through this one as well. When you join the Discord, just head over to reaction roles. You're going to select the CallofDragons one. It's going to be this one here. After you select that, you'll get a role, hence the name reaction role. This category should pop out for you. If it doesn't, just click the header, and then you will go to COD data stats. And the public sheet is here. Like I said, I'm going to be updating it frequently. So, and yes, I will be updating Tiny C and D Kingdoms. But if you do want to have access, you want to follow along, you just like looking at the data, you like that it's getting updated regularly, so you can kind of keep up with the KvKs, whether you're in the KvK or not, and just like looking at it, that's where you can go to find it. The second part is that we will be streaming again tomorrow, probably at around 6 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're not getting off yet, but I just want to let people know ahead of time so I don't forget. Which is going to be around 22 to 22:30 UTC time in-game. So yeah, so that's when we'll be streaming again tomorrow as well. All right, so let's round out two more. I want to try and do two more groups here while we still have some peeps hanging out with us. Zaib says, I would be more worried about BTX whales after they won't be able to stand versus Echo. BTX has to prove themselves against top kingdoms within their size before they get any respect. Okay. Miranda says, Tiny chances slipping through his fingers. Tiny's chances are slipping through his fingers. It's not intentional at all. Yo, damn, 92 likes. You guys are killing it. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Don't worry. I'm going to cry later off stream. But tears of joy. Coconut says, Dark's tweeting the devs to get us. Oh, Lord. Hell yeah, BTX says they beat the so let's see it. We prefer fighting the N1, fighting Alliance baby girl. Arbor says, do the Tiny matchup first. I'd have to go and pull that one as well. And again, that may take a sec. Yeah, Fob says, doesn't EIS need to prove they're more than just PvP dodgers? Because when it comes to Hydra, they can't even keep their own troops in line. Oh, jeez, dude, the Hydra comments. Gosh. At least if BTX matches Echo, it will be a fast loss. Oh, dude, I'll be honest. Initially, I read that as fat loss. And then I looked at it again. I was like, okay, he said fast. VW is Echo's RFS this season. Fob, love to see we still count as Dark's biggest nightmare. Hey, Darky, did we hurt your feelings, buddy? You guys are so mean with your words of love and affection. Okay. All right. Let's get to the fourth matchup. So let me see here. So who would be, so if we're on fourth matchup, that's seventh. So who's going to be the seventh strongest group or team left? Or I guess we should say at the moment. So maybe it is GG. Maybe the matchup here, honestly, maybe the matchup here is, maybe it's NF57 GG. Any complaints there? Because now I feel like some of these matches might just get easier to follow through on. Or maybe the matchup is ROV versus RAC. Maybe that's the matchup. Why do I say that? Because ROV has more T5s, more 100 mil pluses, but the RAC group has double the 200 mil pluses and almost double the 150 mil pluses. I actually think I like this. Yeah, now that I'm looking at this more, and on top of that, ROV has a little bit better PvP engagement percentage, so, or PvP activity percentage. So I kind of like this. ROV versus the RAC group. This one I like as the potential number 4 KvK. Like I'm leaning a little heavier here now on this one. The only I'm trying to think right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The only problem. So, okay, so this is the problem, and this is what I thought might happen. For anyone here who hasn't noticed this, also Joshua, thank you for the sub, man. That means a lot. I appreciate the love. Thank you. The problem is this: is that even though I like the ROV and the RAC matchup here, if we put them in the number 4 KvK group, the problem then becomes who is going to match up against NF57 against the NF57 group, right? Because if you look at the NF57 group, like they're no slouches at 72 bill. But then at that point, it's like, I don't know. Like there doesn't seem to be any good options really. Maybe the RFF or the BXS group, possibly. Maybe even the NTS group could maybe be there. So I mean, it's not god awful. It's just it gets a little worse, right, as you spread out and go down a little bit more on the team list. But okay, let's just try this. So I think I have to do it like this, right? Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, I have to do it like this. I have to remember how I'm doing this. Okay. So let's do this as the number 4 group that we think is probably more likely. Right? Okay, cool. So let's do this. Right? We're going to merge that. We're going to go... Oopsies. They don't want to do that. Let's go differentials. And then we're going to plug this in. Okay, cool. Yeah, so again, this isn't awful. Right, and I think I like this matchup, and then we're going to put them in here, and we're going to say red, bold, and then we're going to say, what did I say, number 4? Yeah, we'll do number 4 KvK. Okay. I feel pretty good about this, though. I do. Brandon says we would take either one. Both look fun. Deathmoth, what's up? Welcome. Not only did Bomb leave the BXS team to join OMGRC, GPO left the TC team to join them also. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that about the GPX one. I saw that BOM did leave and they joined K5, the K5 team. Cuba says no D for you. It's funnier because you're throwing laughing emojis after such a statement. Jeez. Harper says, hey, C's matter too. Right, says, don't forget, Devs made one team too many. Someone is getting punted. Yeah, I mean, either punted or distributed, right? Dispersed into another group. Yeah, Dark says they should just skip the top team since there is one too many to G3. Dude, that would be insane. My hope, honestly, is they just take whatever the weakest team is and they just disperse them and throw them into like whatever the number 10 KvK is, right? I feel like that might be the easiest, least damaging way to approach it. Lonnie says BDO sore losers. They lose a few times and they make a super team alliance. Then look at the team they made, literally 9 billion power higher than the second place team. Yeah. Well. I mean, like I said, I think TFS or Echo. I think TFS or Echo would still are still a good competitor for the Rage team, even despite the the smaller number disadvantage. Zaib says, nah, it's a great team. Chisel going to say he is proud and ready to fight anyone. Coconut says they're the outlier, to be honest. Lonnie says, yeah, that much power, more than anybody else. Nobody's going to be able to beat them. They're going to have easy. I'm going to be honest, man. If I feel like we got to put a little bit more respect on like the TFS team. I mean, there's like a 5.5 bill power differential when you're just looking at fighting power, right? Minusing out 15 mil and below for farms. Again, man, the numbers aren't bad. Like, yes, are they still in favor of the Rage team? Yes, that's without a doubt. But like, again, man, I wouldn't count out the TFS team, man. Like, they have a good team. And like, I could have even argued putting the Echo team in there. Like, I think TFS or Echo would very much give the Rage team a good fight. I don't think that is even a question. I think the question that you can ask is, will the Rage team's advantage be a little bit too much for a TFS or Echo team, or would either of those teams say F that advantage? We're going to show up and show out, right? So, like I said, for me, I give it a little bit to the TFS team, a little bit more over the Echo team, but I think you could slot either of those teams in to go up against the Rage team, and I think that they're going to give them a hell of a season. I don't even think that's a question. Yeah. Jeez. Tavos, no one is surprised by BDO wanting easy wins. Well, I mean, I think when you look at the team, the problem is this, and I said this yesterday as well. The problem at the end of the day is that the kings and queens are choosing. And you also have to consider that when the kings and queens are choosing, it's not like the kings and queens are going to go into the team up phase and say, well, let me just select the lowest powered team possible. Like, again, if we're just kind of understanding the human, us as humans psychologically being incentivized to try and put together the best team that we can, there's nothing wrong necessarily with saying, okay, well, let's find the best teammates that we can put together for our team. I don't think that there's necessarily any team out there that absolutely did that. I mean, the thing is, even if you look at, as an example, the Rage team, like even if we look at the Rage / BDO team, right? You look at them and sure, like when it comes to an A team, they selected the second A seed, like the number 2 A team they selected, right? Because TFS would be number 1 because the top 3 A's are Paragons. So they did select the number 2A, right? Which was WBS. On the B team, they selected the number 12B and the number 26B. They could have selected, just to show you as an example, they could have selected the where did I put everything? Here we go. Yeah, they could have selected 305 and 297, which would have been the number 1 and the number 2 Bs, right? Again, just so we're being fair on both sides. But they didn't. They selected the number 12 and the number 26 B team. So, I mean, again, I kind of feel like that's a little bit more middle of the pack to me. And again, that's if you're ranking the Bs at the top 42, right? The only one I think you could probably call into question is them selecting WBS as a teammate, just because they were the number 2 option. TFS selected the number 7 option, right? In WAO. So like if you look at where WAO was on the A's, right? Where are they? They're here. So if you remove the Paragons, you would have A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. So they selected the 7th A team, right? Compared to Rage, they selected the number 2 one. Number 3. My apologies. Yeah, number 3. But I put them down as 6, didn't I? Oh, oopsies. Did I mess that up? Do I need to update that? Okay, oopsies. There we go. Number 6. So WBS would have been the third A team, and then TFS selected the 7th A team, and that's just because they were the number 1 option. Right now, TFS could have, just to be clear, TFS could have said like, "Hey BTX, do you guys want to team up?" And that would have been the number 1A option, but also a Paragon. But TFS didn't choose a Paragon, right? In Rage's case, it's a little bit different because they are the Paragon. Yeah, I guess if that makes sense, right? It's like a little bit of a vice versa flop there. Balakas, thank you for the sub, man. Appreciate that. Means a lot. Rhino says, Mark, if we don't nerf ourselves, no one will want to fight us. Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you're looking at things objectively, I actually think the Rage team did a decent job. That's not to say that they couldn't have done a better job, but again, to me, it really just comes down to the fact that the kings and queens are the ones that are choosing the teams. And now, if the COD system was choosing the teams, I do think things would probably be better. Because to me, I feel like the COD system should have chosen the teams. With all the data they have, all the metrics they have behind the scenes, they could have said, let's put together the most balanced, most fair teams that we possibly can, and then let's put those teams together in a group. Personally, that's what I would have liked to seen done rather than this. However, I do think it's okay to run it as a test season so that way you can see what the pros and cons are. And then maybe next season, you could still have a team up phase, except the system will team you up and put you on teams. So, yeah, I mean, again, if you're asking me, like, what do I think is a lesser of the two evils or a better of the two options? And that's not to say that I think one option is perfect compared to the other. Again, I choose the latter. I would rather see the COD system pair. And I say that because in recent seasons, in recent KvK storylines where the COD team did pair, they have been doing a better and better job as that has gone on. It hasn't been god awful as of late. And maybe in the beginning when they were doing it, when there was less kingdoms in the pool, yeah, I could see that. But again, I covered this and I pulled the data on it. And historically, they have been getting better in their matchup algorithm when the COD team is putting together teams or putting together groups and choosing what kingdoms are going to be in those. They have been getting better at that, and that's just a fact. Yeah. Dark says, yeah, Echo formed way weaker this time. Just hard to compliment them because it wasn't by choice. It's not like they had better options for stronger allies. I mean, again, part of that is what I'm talking about, though. Like, part of that is the problem, or is a hurdle. It's an obstacle. Is that you're going to have, like, the moment that classification started, you were already seeing. I mean, we saw what, like 4 to 5 teams that were basically done within the first 30 minutes. You know, it's kind of like a game of pickup, and it's like schoolyard pickup, right? It's like you line up on the blacktop and like you're selecting 2 teams and you're just kind of going, right? You're trying to get your teams figured out as soon as possible, so people are going to come off the board fast. But yeah. Raina says, but we hate when devs make the teams PN. They always mess it up. I mean, respectfully, the last time they did a team up that they put together, it wasn't bad. Sure, could it have been better? Okay, again, I could see that point being made. But if you compare the last time they did it versus the first few times they did it, way better. Some of you may remember when the COD team was first putting together KvK matchups. Some of us remember how it was. Remember, they did high-powered, mid, and low-powered that they would put, which was just the absolute worst. And then they did start improving it, right? Remember, then they kind of started going off of, okay, like if you were to look at my top 25 kingdom list, they said, okay, well, let's put 1, 2, 3, 4 together. Then let's put 5, 6, 7, 8 together. So again, they've tested some things out, sure. But I do think that they have been getting better at it season over season. So, but I do agree in the beginning, it wasn't solid. It wasn't solid at all. There was rough patches. There was definitely some hard growing pains the first couple times they did it. But as of late, it has gotten a lot better. Mark says the top alliance clearly don't want to be on a bit of a disadvantaged position. Yeah. Merck says, how does 8 bill make it into B tier? Yeah. And see, that's the thing is that, and keep in mind, right, and I've stated this already, and I'll state it again, just for appropriate context. The power numbers you're seeing that I'm showing you are more fighting weight and punching power numbers. So these ones are top 300 players that are. Oh, dude, look at that! I didn't even know my name showed up there. Oh, it's probably because I'm on. it's because I have the second sheet open. But what I'm saying is that the top 300 I'm showing off probably might be a little different, and I say that because the way that the devs are doing classification grades for kingdoms is they are using the total power of a kingdom, including any account that's on the map. And that's one of the factors. So what I'm showing you is more fighting power. It's more PvP punching power, which on my data, on the data that Fuzzy pulls for the top 300 and top 600, we exclude accounts that are at 15 mil and below. So, and then we only do the top 300. So we don't do all the accounts in the kingdom. So I've stated that a couple times, and we stated it once yesterday. I just want to make sure I'm very clear on that. So when people look at this, just so there's a level of transparency there, mainly. But what I will say is, here's a good example. If you look at the bottom of the A, right, just to hit Merck's point, right, where he says how does an 8 bill kingdom make it to B tier? This is interesting if you look at this, right? You have the bottom of the A group, which this is sorted, right? So there's 42 A kingdoms, 42 B kingdoms. If we look at the bottom of the A tier or A seed kingdoms, you can see that the top of the B is 17.7, right? Which means that you have, what is this? So that means you have 14 A seed kingdoms that, at least from a top 300 grouping, are weaker than the number 1 B kingdom. I agree there that doesn't make any sense to me, right? However, they are factoring in other things. It's not just the kingdom power, it's the dispersion of player power tiers. It's spending habits. It's going to be PvP engagement and merit gains, also looking at previous seasons. There are multiple factors they use. I'm just simply saying that, again, I'm just saying it would be nice if things maybe were a little more simpler in that regard. Just because I just don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I would rather see these 15s and the 17s be an A tier more than a B. If we go down to B, right, some of the challenges you'll see, and this is where, again, kind of goes into what Merck was saying. Rhinos, dude, thank you for the dono again, man. Rhino says, going to sleep. Hope to see your video soon. Yes, it will be soon. I appreciate the dono, man. It means a lot. So what Merck was saying is that if you look at the bottom of the B tiers, you have a couple 8 bill kingdoms. However, if you look at some of the top C tiers, they're stronger than some of the B tiers, right? Just based on power. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't to say that all of these numbers should be exactly in a chronological order, because this is just one factor that is among multiple factors that is determining. It's just, I don't know. Part of me that just feels like, if you're asking me this, how should they determine seeding classifications? I just don't think that you should be factoring in the power of the entire kingdom. I think you should be, if you're going to use kingdom power as a factor, you should be using kingdom power that is not for every account in the kingdom, because now you're counting farms and accounts that could be at like 10,000, 20,000, 5, 10, 15 million power. To me, you should have a cutoff. If that cutoff is anyone below 15 mil doesn't count. If that cutoff is anyone below 60 mil doesn't count. And maybe you do it for certain seasons. So like going into season 2, you could say anyone that's below 5 mil doesn't count towards fighting power. And then you get into season 3, anyone below 10 mil doesn't count towards fighting power. You get to season 3, anyone below 15 mil, and then maybe SOS is like anyone below 20 mil doesn't count. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is you allow the kingdoms, and this is actually the way I would like to see them do it, is where, and I've stated this before, is where I would like for the kingdoms to have to register the alliances that they want to bring into the KvK. This way, it minimizes the amount of farms. It minimizes the amount of lower powered accounts that you might see in there. But it also allows the kings or queens to be able to manage their players by selecting which players they want to allow into KvK registered alliances. I think that would be one way to kind of just remove some of the fluff, some of the fat from the kingdoms, so that way kingdoms would be registering with more of their fighting power, their punching power, rather than using a metric for kingdom power that is any account that's on the map, right? I think either of those two would at least be two options to consider, aside from maybe any other options that could be good ideas as well. Yeah. Rena says, yeah, they are using Kingdom History. Yeah, we mentioned that. You said they're using that as well, though. I noticed new migration projects and stuff were in C tiers, even though they're as big as some A's. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Mark says TFS is not even Paragon yet. They trying to match with highest team as possible. Yeah. I mean, they're up there. I mean, listen, if they had 4 Paragons, to be fair, if they had 4 Paragons per tier, there's a very good chance TFS would have been the 4th Paragon. Like, it's not, I don't think it's a guarantee, but it's a very good chance that they would have been the 4th Paragon team. Dream says, I don't think they do count Kingdom Power if they have 7 billion Paragons. Well, keep in mind, those are for lower seed tiers as well. Cam says, welcome, Cam. TFS will be the #1 kingdom soon. Cam, I think what you mean to say is that TFS will be the #1 kingdom again, ... soon, ... Just because they were the #1 kingdom for a very long time before. DGen says, all crowded status servers should be A, active B, active below 10B, 10 billion power C. Yeah. And I mean, again, right, I think there's a couple ways that you can do it. I guess for me, I would maybe just like to see a little bit more consistency when we look at the data. And again, what I'm showing isn't obviously going to be, and no one is ever going to be able to show you all the data visually that they use for seeding classifications, because some of that is just private and only available to them. Zaib says, I was thinking about being C Paragon again, like 50-50 low B, high C, and we ended up 4th. 4th in B2. Yeah. DJ says, here we have 14 billion C tier, but 10 billion power alliance gets A, which makes completely no sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I will say that some of those rub me a little bit. Yeah, I'll agree there. Mark says Paragon's activity last season, SSVIP an example. I mean, it could be, right? I mean, like I said, we know they do factor in spending habits into who's getting seeded and into your kingdom power, or sorry, for seeding classification they do, which obviously also includes Paragon. Yeah. Oh, Mark, you said this from the Chinese info. Oh, you're saying Paragon classification specifically is activity last season, SSVIP, and exemplars. Oh, interesting. Okay. Zype says, oh, that's why we're not Paragon B. We have 0 SSVIPs or SVIPs. Okay. Interesting. Mark, if you have a screenshot of that, I'd love to see it. Please feel free to shoot me a DM, if so. Yeah. Slippy, what's up? Slippy said, make one giant, huge free-for-all map. Throw every kingdom on it with gold to take one single award in the middle. Big old fat chaotic Royal Rumble. So it's very interesting that you said that, Slippy. This is an idea that I have actually floated around. And I've said this, I think a few other people have said this too. But from my view on it, I actually think that that could be a fun idea for like to do some free for all kind of battle royale KvKs. The thing about it is that you would have to, which is a little bit of a challenge to some degree, but I think you'd have to try and do it. Excuse me. You'd have to try and do it kind of like the Supreme Statue, right? Where you could have multiple kingdoms going in to where there isn't hopefully any over incentive for, you know, anyone else to kind of like team up on each other. And I think there are some ways, excuse me, that you can restrict that. I think if you have some kind of like a real-time point system, right? And it's based on rankings and placings, you could potentially have situations where, like, let's say you have 4 kingdoms in a free-for-all or a battle royale KvK, and you know, you might end up having a situation where, like, okay, well, maybe the number 1 team is getting way ahead in points. Okay, well, maybe the number 2, 3, and 4 team will gang up on the number 1 team, right? So that way they can gain more points. Like, they'll fight them and then they'll fight amongst each other. But then all of a sudden now there then becomes a new number 1. So maybe it's the number 3 and the number 4 team that are ganging up on, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I think you have to have some kind of an incentivized system that's in place that would minimize any potential like spawn camping, if that makes sense, right? But I do think that there are, and again, I just gave like one very oversimplified way to do it, at least one way to do it. But yeah, I absolutely think that that could be a viable idea to do some kind of free-for-all battle royale KvK, and it's just a matter of like figuring out the particulars. Yeah. Okie dokie, fam. Well, we ended up getting 4 KvK groups in. I wanted to try and do a 5th as well, but we were having a lot of fun in chat, so I feel like that got away from us. Got away from us a little bit. With that in mind, let me give just some final announcements real quick before we end everything out. Number 1, remember, if you do want to get access to the public version of the spreadsheet, be sure to join the Discord. A link to the Discord is going to be in the pinned or at the pinned live chat comment at the top. Once you join the Discord, you can head over to the reaction roll channel. I'll show that off right now. You'll head here. You'll select CallofDragons, which should be the one in the middle. And then once you access that or you select that, it'll give you the COD roll. You'll head over to the COD or CallofDragons category. You'll go to COD data stats, and the sheet is going to be here. This is the public sheet. You can see that there's still some people on it checking it out. I will be updating this. I'm either going to port the data over tonight, right when I finish, or it'll be in the morning at the very latest. But I will update it with what we've done so far. Excuse me. And then secondly, For anyone out there that would like to get information, again, I'd be remiss if I didn't plug as well. But again, if you do want to get access to the data bot, there's a link here. So for anyone here that's interested in, where do I get my data? Most people know, right? I talk about Fuzzy, but there's a link to the data bot here. If you're someone who is looking to get some thumbnails done, right? My thumbnail guy, Pasan, there's a link for that here in the support BN channel, just to plug those in. Flaming says, been fun watching. Looking forward to going from a completely dead KvK to an insanely active one. Nice, man. Now wishing you the best there as well, Phoenix. Zen, what's up? Yeah. We'll definitely do some more tomorrow. Like I said, man. And I guess my last announcement is, remember, tomorrow we'll be streaming a little earlier. So we're going to try and get on around 6 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is going to be about 22 to 22:30 UTC time in game. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to end it out. Thank you guys so much. I'm kind of already getting a little hoarse here with the voice too as well. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. The past couple days have just been an incredible delight. Obviously, a huge shout out to Guns for the raid. I think he might have been ending his stream possibly. So that was very appreciated. Thank you so much for that. Again, I don't know if anyone else is streaming right now. I probably should check because if they are, I am happy to pass it forward. Pay it forward, I should say. But yeah, no, I don't think anyone else is right now. Because if they are, this is the first place I would go and look. Would be the media content channel here. So in that case, I will just simply say thank you guys for all the support. Like I said, the past couple days have been great. 2 days ago, right? I think we peaked a little over 100 viewers. Yesterday was an absolute banger. I think we peaked at 240 viewers. Was effortlessly our most active, most engaging stream that we have done so far. And today, again, reaching over 100. I think we might have peaked at around 130 or so, somewhere around that. So again, you could tell by how hoarse my voice is right now, but I just want to say that it means a lot. And the fact that people enjoy, the type of content I do as much as you enjoy the type of content that other creators do as well. For me to be able to show off what I love talking about and what I love providing to the community. It's just great that people have that. Any amount of people really have an interest in it. And I've always felt very strongly about being able to kind of show off and showcase numbers. So it's nice to see that a number of people like seeing those as well, at least in this type of live stream content that we do outside of some of the others. All right, that is it for me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening. You have a great night, and we'll catch you tomorrow, / in the next one. All right. Pop, chicka, pop.